the world. Aggies lose to Arkansas and Tech beat TCU.
This Sports Center update is brought to you by Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 100% satisfaction guarantee.
How good you want to be? From play one to the last play, we fighting. Today's about opportunity and character. We got a chance to come out here and play football. It's a blessing. Hey, every season is full of defining moments. Let's make this day a defining moment for us in our quest. Let's go, baby.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here are the guys.
Hey, gather around, huddle up, as we got something to talk about. It's the Morning Huddle. He's RJ Ochoa. I'm Rob Thompson. That is Easy Edwin Hefner on the other side of the double pane glass. He's ever watching, though unseen. Welcome aboard what will be a fantastic ride on a Wednesday morning. How are you doing this morning, RJ Ochoa?
Top of the morning to you, Robbie T. Happy hump day. We got here faster than expected, and but no one's complaining about that, I don't think.
Yeah, I got here sufficiently long enough after the All-Star game to arise with some sort of sense after the bloviating experience I had on all day Saturday night and into Sunday. So we got that out of our system. I'm glad we did. Lots to get into today as we look forward to an imminent contract from Dak Prescott. The Spurs getting busy again tomorrow night as they continue the second half of their rodeo road trip. We'll talk silver and black at 7 o'clock. Spend a day kind of preparing for, we got some news coming from college football. We'll talk about the playoff format. If you've been listening to us, we told you it was coming. It was just a matter. So it's a 5 plus 7.
That's I don't know why we can't just call it 12 teams. Like what?
It's 5 plus 7. When you see it described, I don't know how often you watch Saturday Night Live, but did you see Nate Bargatze come on a couple weeks back, and he was George Washington? It was back around the Super Bowl. He was talking about the what America's going to do versus the rest of the world. Like, nope, we're going to do 12 inches in a foot.
Yeah, I have no problems with Nate, no qualms, but so I don't mean this as an indictment or a demerit. I saw the just like blitz warfare Nate Bargatze material all over my life. Like he was on. He was on every podcast. He was ahead of Saturday Night Live. He did all these shows. I mean, he was hot for like a good 8-day stretch.
Every comedian has that run, and he was in the midst of it. But he was very, very funny, and I found that. So what's the playoff? Well, we're we're not gonna call it 12. No, it's 5 plus 7. So 12 teams are going. Yeah, it's 5 plus 7.
We are very dumb.
Well, it's dumb, and I think we need to parse it in how it is a manufactured. You better be in a super conference, or you might be in trouble. So Notre Dame got fair warning, dude. You guys can hold out if you want. You can try if you might, or the Borg will eat you. One or the other. Weird science reference there, but we'll talk about that. The Jimmy, I don't know how many of you guys get tricked into clickbait. Every now and then, a man of my age, it happens. I've donated to a variety of princes in Nigeria. There's a woman in Russia that I'm helping come over with her sick mother, and Jimmy Johnson is also now part of the committee, the football committee with the Dallas Cowboys.
The advisory board.
The advisory board, the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah. So I saw that floating around the socials, and I was like, well, I don't know how to take advisory board, but I guess I'm kind of down. We're going to talk about the ramifications of what was actually said, but sometimes you lose context when you just read, or if you have a vendetta, it comes out. We'll talk about a story that percolated into something really cool that's worthy of discussion. And while we're talking about debate, there's a JJ Redick, who is a rise and shiner, a comer there on the TV pundit side of basketball. I think he's good. I like JJ as a NBA type. Got to play for Doc Rivers and was reacting to a quote from Doc over the weekend about, they really had to coax me to coming back. And JJ called out Doc Rivers on a variety of things that I think a lot of us feel about Doc. And then Doc's defender was, of course, his son, Austin Rivers, who retorted in a very weighted and considered response, which I was like, you know what? Austin Rivers makes a point. So we'll have a discussion in the 7:00 Silver and Black as the Spurs prep for the second half of the season on playoff bound teams where the Spurs land. Did you know that if it ends today, we would get a play-in game in the West between Steph and LeBron? Can you imagine that?
I mean, I still have a hard time really falling in love with these, but that's a pretty solid appetite.
It's not even kissing your sister, but it is at least something to look forward to at the very beginning of a playoff because one of those dudes would be watching.
Right.
But we'll look at the NBA and really kind of dissect Doc Rivers' place in NBA history. Has he lived long enough to become a martyr?
You think you live long enough to become a martyr, not the villain? That's the classic
same thing.
line. You either die a hero. I don't think a martyr is always a villain. There's villainous qualities, but
I mean, some people choose to be a martyr, and you're like, you're martyring on this.
Yeah, one of the biggest choices ever to be a martyr is, deciding to have a concession speech to give up a job that you had lost 2 months ago.
Did I see a list of the 102 available free agents floating around someplace? I think I saw a list of all the free agents.
It's interesting. We live in a world of content creation. So you get like a top 101, and then somebody has to outdo that person. So you get 102. You know what I mean? So we are in that season. My favorite is Greg Rosenthal's at NFL.com. I don't believe he's released his yet, but
at 8:30, we're going to talk about the Texans and the situation they find themselves in free agency because there's such a weight to having good young talent. There's some gravity to that, and you see the good young talent that Houston has and the little bit of money they have, and the availability of the two kind of makes it so much easier now to build a team fast when you got a quarterback that's not making anything. And the Texans are in a great situation, a complete dichotomy from the Dallas Cowboys, who are looking forward to a $60 million contract with Dak Prescott. And while it might say it is not unexpected.
It is. I did a social hit for us on Tuesday evening.
Mm-hmm.
If you are shocked about the 60 million number that came out on Tuesday, shame on you. Right. You haven't been listening. You haven't been paying attention. I mean, this is, you can be mad, you can be upset, you can be happy, whatever, but this has always been predictable. And it hasn't even been that long. It's only been like 5 or 6 weeks since the season ended. So, I mean, buckle up, because the day that happens, what people like to say all the time, like, oh, the internet's going to break. We're doomed. Like that day, it is. I mean, the internet is going to be insufferable that day.
That's the day that Beyonce will announce Dak's in his press conference. The two that will break the internet from the Super Bowl commercial. That those two combined could do it.
Yeah, Queen Bee.
We'll continue to try to break the internet, and the way that we do that is by you going to our YouTube channel and just subscribing. That's really all we're after.
Turn on the noties. Yeah.
What's the count as we head closer and closer to our golf tournament on March the 25th? For new subscribers, if we reach the plateau of which we chase, and of which you can help by just liking and subscribing every day, the liking side, we will do a Hot Ones challenge.
Yeah. Ryan provided an update yesterday. I believe we need 138.
Okay, so we're moving along. We're moving up. And speaking of, we only have room for about 20 teams in the golf tournament. I hate to scare you, but we're down to I think it's like 23 teams space left. So if you want to play golf, go to sasportstar.com. We're playing golf March the 25th. It is our annual spring fling. We're out at the Golf Club of Texas. It is all things that you recall and then some, because this is out of the city limits. This is in another town. Cops don't even know us there. We can do some stuff they're not prepared for. And everybody knows what the back nine is like. So go to sasportstar.com and get your asses signed up, because we play in golf March the 25th at the Golf Course of Texas. I cannot wait to hit the links, because that will signify the beginning of spring and all things green and lush. So let's start this show in an appropriate manner. Coming back, Dak's going to get it. You might as well lean back and enjoy it. But it does help the Cowboys in a variety of ways. There are some benefits to the massive amount of money. We'll look at the sideways and all the things that go along with a $60 million contract. and the ripple effects therein and coming back, we might even be able to give you some justification for why he's getting it. Put your Dak sunglasses and hatred away. Coming back, lots of sports talk because that's what we do. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Classic is set Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 and a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, what are you doing up on the step stool?
About to clean these light fixtures. The whole family's coming over. And if there's even a speck of dust in the house, my abuela will find it.
Here, I got a Swiffer duster to help with that.
A Swiffer what?
A Swiffer duster. It has this cool extendable handle that reaches 6 feet to get high and low, with fluffy dusters that easily trap and lock dust.
So no more step stool?
No more step stool.
Easily trap and lock dust from hard-to-reach places with the Swiffer duster. Love it or your money back.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
I need new wipers.
No problem. How about Bosch Prime Active or Envision?
Get in zone, AutoZone.
I know what you're thinking. Why Bosch Prime Active or Envision? They're both designed to minimize glare for clearer, safer driving.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Okay, great. Do you have any special offers on them?
Right now, you can get a $10 bonus reward when you buy a pair.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply. Offer available to AutoZone Rewards members.
Over the past decade, the Roof Hub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the UFC fights, and when you show up at the Roof Hub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch a game. The Roof Hub is next to the Angry Elephant and in the same plaza as the Big Blind there at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought at the time.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than...
That's BABBEL.com. My daughter is normally a little goofball, but after a bad night's sleep, she's too tired to be anything. That's why I trust Pure Z's Kids. Pure Z's Kids is mindfully formulated just for kids. Their non-habit forming, drug-free products help my daughter fall asleep naturally, giving her the rest to be her best.
I'm a dinosaur.
Her best dinosaur.
Pure Z's Kids, for ages 4 and up when needed. Explore our products at zquill.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Asante came to TurboTax after graduating from culinary school and landing a job in the hottest kitchen in town.
My hands are full all day, every day. I love it.
Asante, as your TurboTax expert, I'll make your moves count, guaranteeing 100% accurate filing and your maximum refund. Sound good?
Yes, expert.
Switch to Intuit TurboTax and make your moves count. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Hello, this is Chip with Diamond J Properties. You're invited to our coastal waterfront grand opening on March 2nd, where you can get 2 acres with bay access for only $49.9. That's right, 2 acres bay access for only $49.9. This coastal waterfront community has over 4 miles of water frontage with access to the ICW, Gulf, Matagorda Bay, and much more. Property features paved roads, underground utilities, boat launch, pier, pool, cabana, and more. This property is shown by appointment only. Call now, 210-853-0380. 0389. 210-853-0389. 210-853-0389. 210-853-0389.
Before you fire up that grill, make sure you get into Tri-County Meat Market. Hi, Jason Minix here. Tri-County Meat Market has everything you need. If you're thinking steaks, you want some chicken, some poppers, beef ribs, pork ribs, brisket, picanha, tri-tip. They've got it all at Tri-County Meat Market. Take advantage of their Pick 5 for $25, and Tri-County always offers a 10% discount for military and first responders. Tri-County Meat Market, 2 locations on Ralph Fair Road and on Heavener, or online at tricountymeat.com.
People who suffer from arthritis are getting real pain relief with exciting biologic therapies at QC Kinetics.
The success rate is there, and there's no better way to treat yourself when it comes to dealing with pain.
Meet Tyler Vale, co-founder of QC Kinetics, who says they can't cure arthritis, but they can treat the pain.
If you think of the tide coming in and out on the beach and what it does, it erodes the sand, right? Can't stop the tide, but eventually when the sand or the beach gets bad enough, when we backfill that beach with sand so that we get generations of enjoyment with that beach again. And the same thing happens with your knee or your shoulder or your hip or your back. We want to backfill the problems that have happened to this point. I'm not stopping the tide, so I'm not stopping the arthritis, but I want to get generations of enjoyment out of those joints again.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation. Learn more about how restorative biologic therapies can get you real and lasting joint pain relief.
Call QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318.
Howdy, San Antonio. This is Andrew Monaco, and you're locked on the home of the Aggies, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Huddle up! This is the Morning Huddle. He's RJ Ochoa. I'm Rob Thompson. Thanks for sitting in with us on a Wednesday morning, a hump day edition. Hey, we're looking at the injuries that affect your world in the second half of the NBA season, the NFL, and baseball as it begins with Dr. Jason Garrett. He'll be here about 8:45 for our injury discussion. You did enough here. Anybody who reads and there's a fabulous article there at Blogging the Boys, as RJ is the managing editor over there, that this was going to happen. And if you want to get all the background, head over to Blogging the Boys right now. You'll see the article that RJ has, and we're lucky to have the author sitting right in front of me. How long is it going to be before he signs the deal, and how much does timing play into this?
So at our current moment in time, what's today's date, Rob?
It is February the 21st at 6:22 in the blessed AM.
So as of this moment in time, we still don't know the salary cap for the NFL.
Oh, okay.
But reports are that it could be somewhere between 243 and potentially up to $250 million. But overthecap.com has projections based on a $242 million salary cap. And at the moment, the Cowboys are $21.5 million in the red. Now, they can very quickly get out of that. A couple of, pen, here and there, restructures, et cetera, and get back into the black, like the final Friday in the month of November, so to speak. But that requires some, work to be done, things that aren't necessarily difficult. And Dak Prescott's contract is one of them. His cap number for this coming season is $60 million. I'm rounding up slightly. That is untenable. That is not possible. That's not his fault. That is the team's fault for pushing things, for delaying things, et cetera, et cetera. Joe Burrow, Rob, is the highest paid player in the NFL, in NFL history, obviously highest paid quarterback. His cap number, and some of this is the fact that he, he's a recent first round pick, obviously. His cap number for 2024 is only $29.7 million. So again, just kind of an indication at how, Dallas has kicked the can down the road. It would be one thing if Dak's cap number was this number and he still had years left on his deal, and they could, continue to kick it down the road the way the New Orleans Saints have done with a million different things. But this is effectively the final year of his deal. He has a no tag clause, which means they can't tag him and protect him and keep him next year. He has a no trade clause, which means they can't just make him be somebody else's problem, even if they're amenable to that idea. He has all of the leverage in the world since he is in line for a new deal. If you have no idea how basic supply and demand or economics work, you haven't taken I think it's like a mandated thing in like Texas school district policy to take an economics class in high school. The next one up costs a little bit more than the last. I mean, this is, if you ever bought a car, you ever bought a house, like that's just the way this goes. From an average annual value perspective, Rob, there are 4 quarterbacks in the NFL who make north of $50 million. They all brokered these deals last offseason. I mean, like, that's how quickly this happens. Jalen Hurts hit $51 million per year ago. Lamar Jackson then got 52. Justin Herbert got 52.5. Joe Burrow got 55. So Dak Prescott is next, and it stands to reason that he's going to get more than $55 million per year.
Now, have we built up enough goodwill to say, there's a Saquon Barkley out there that if you're willing to kind of give a little something here, there's Derrick Henry that'll make your life a whole lot better. In fact, there's this list of 102, soon 104 guys that we could go get to help you in your quest for a Super Bowl. You personally in your quest for greatness. That maybe you give us a little break, a little something, or is that has Jerry used up all of the goodwill?
I mean, if you were in position to make this kind of money, would you help anybody out? And I mean, and people will fault Dak Prescott for that. I mean, they shouldn't.
No, I wouldn't.
Because Joe Burrow did the same thing. Lamar Jackson did the same thing. Justin Herbert did the same thing. Jalen Hurts did the same thing. I mean, I am team get paid. Whichever player you are, whatever team you play for, whatever sport you play for, your life in your profession is so finite and limited. I mean, go take care of yourself, take care of your family. Plus, I mean, paying a running back would not be if I had to use these resources elsewhere, my preferred, method of doing that would, like, in no universe be paying a running back. In fact, recently, one of our authors, a great longtime BTBer, OCC, he wrote 9 lessons the Dallas Cowboys should learn from mistakes of the past relative to free agency. And number 1 is as in not paying the veteran.
I thought we might have learned our lesson from last year.
So OCC included the 5 biggest contracts that were handed out to running backs over each of the last 2 offseasons. So does that make sense?
Right.
So the 5 biggest last year, the 5 biggest 2 years ago. Of those 10 players, because it's 10 different contracts, how many running backs do you think, again, of these 10, had more yards after the big deal, like with the new team that paid them in free agency?
Oh, I imagine none.
It was 1. It was David Montgomery last year with the Detroit Lions. He outperformed his previous season in 2022 with the Chicago Bears. So my point is, like, 90%
and he did that splitting time. That's crazy.
Yeah, like literally 90% of the time over the last 2 years, and running backs dipped in production. The highest paid ones on the open market.
Yeah, I get that. But I thought that the playoffs we started seeing, running back quality does kind of matter.
I'm not saying they don't matter,
but it's still,
it's not
right.
Yeah, like go get the cheap labor. You know what I'm saying? Like, the labor matters, but devoting significant resources to it is the mistake. In fact, I think another representation of that is, of the 5 biggest contracts handed out to running backs last offseason, number 5, the 5th biggest, was Dalvin Cook of the New York Jets. And that didn't even happen until halfway through training camp. And even then, even though it took that long, it wasn't like they were going back and forth. It was a 1-year, $7 million deal. Consider that Tony Pollard's franchise tag value was just south of $11 million. So, like, the 5th highest paid player is making well below the franchise tag.
So there is an imminent decline in the franchise cost of a running back. As these running back contracts shrink, you'll be able to hold on to some of these backs. They're not just currently doomed. They're doomed for the next 3 or 4 years as these big dollar contracts expire. And if Saquon doesn't get anything to, like, move the market at all, that franchise number, which is the average of the top 4, 3, 5,
the franchise tag figure is the average of the top 5 top 5 highest paid players at the position.
They're going to be franchising running backs at about 7-8 million here before long.
Well,
they're not careful.
Like, even if you just think about it, Saquon's going to be a free agent.
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs is going to be. ESPN connected Josh Jacobs to Dallas on Tuesday. Tony Pollard's going to be a free agent. You know what I mean? Like, there's you can, like, as evidenced by the Dalvin Cook thing, not that worked out, you can wait and totally get like a productive running back to pair with your cheap link.
Okay, so that lends the question. If a running back is imminent and you can find one for a dollar value that, seems like pennies on the dollar according to what it would have been 10 years ago, 5 years ago. Let's enumerate the reasons why Dak's going to get $60 million. I don't know if there's been enough water under the bridge or but there is a season of worthy accomplishment that that garners the idea that other teams wouldn't mind the $60 million hit. So let's kind of brag on what Dak did and the effects of free agency with a whopping new deal, because this new NFL math, the higher the contract, the way it's spread out, will benefit the Cowboys. And RJ again will explain why, because he's the brains of the operation. This is the Morning Huddle. We'll be right back here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on the Blitz, the Spurs get back to work after a long All-Star break. The rodeo road trip continues. Will they fare any better?
It's possible. Speaking of the rodeo, Reinagel was there last night. A food and sticks concert review, and Dak Prescott resetting the quarterback market. That's coming up on the Blitz starting at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online, mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
When was the last time you went to the dentist? Need a new dentist? Hi, Jason Minix here. Go see my dentist at Smile Structure Dentistry and Braces. Smile Structure can handle all your dentistry needs, from general dentistry to oral surgery, orthodontics for the kids, or Invisalign for adults. Mention this ad, get a free exam and x-rays. Veteran owned with 5 San Antonio area locations. Learn more and book an appointment online at smilestructure.com. That's smilestructure.com.
If you're looking to move out of your parents' place, you could really cut expenses by bundling your car and renter's insurance with Progressive, which is good because your little brother has gotten really territorial. You're blood related. You'd think it would be fine to share food in the fridge. I mean, who writes their name on every individually wrapped slice of cheese, Tyler? Still, you've got to admire the commitment. So bundle your renter's and car insurance with Progressive and use the savings to help you move out and have all the cheese you want. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Gabby.
Hey, Gabby. It's Jennifer Coolidge. Hi. I'm so glad I reached you at 2 a.m.
Oh, of course. Anyone with a Discover card can call and talk to a real person 24/7. Now, how can I help?
Yeah, I used my Discover card to buy these yellow pleather pajamas, and I'm just not sure I'm pulling them off.
24/7 U.S.-based customer service. It pays to Discover. Limitations apply. Learn more at discover.com/credit card.
O'Reilly. You need parts? O'Reilly Auto Parts has parts. Need them fast? We've got fast. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. Product availability. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people. O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This year, Dell Technologies wants to help you do amazing things with their best tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs, like the XPS 13 Plus, powered by Intel Core processors, and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology to match your forward-thinking spirit and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
That's the ease at which you get information. You want it, you get it, like that. Ask your phone, group chat, smartphone. You're always connected and informed in real time, no waiting. So if you're diabetic and still using finger sticks to read your blood sugar, what are you waiting for? Knowing your blood sugar levels instantly is important for managing diabetes. Call US Med at 888-665-0696. To learn more about continuous glucose monitors, a real-time instant method to track your blood glucose, US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 1,000 private insurers. And the best part? Call 888-665-0696 and we'll give you a free insurance benefits check today. So call 888-665-0696 today. That's 888-665-0696 and manage your diabetes as easy as...
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass. Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just text ENERGY to 200-300 for your free consultation on top-quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right. You don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Text ENERGY to 200-300 right now. Text the word ENERGY to 200-300. Don't wait. Text ENERGY to 200-300.
Hey, any big plans for today? Yep, checking out Target's 4-day sale. Oh, for what? For scoring 20% off. For 20% off? For everything you need for spring. 20% off tees, jeans, and shoes. Even select bedding, bath, storage, and more. Wait, for real? For how long? 4 days. That's the name of the sale. Target's 4-day sale. Ah, the 4-day sale. Count me in for sure. Don't miss Target's 4-day sale. Ends Monday. Restrictions apply. See Target.com for details.
I feel good.
Dad, are you singing to your cereal?
Yes, I am, like I knew that I would.
No, a dance too?
Come on, Ava. Silk almond milk starts the morning on a high note. Yow!
Songs, dances, and dad jokes.
So good. So good. I got you.
Silk almond milk.
With calcium, vitamins A, D, and E.
Feel plenty good.
Hi, it's Jason Minix. You're listening to the home of the Cowboys, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle. That's RJ Ochoa. I'm Rob Thompson. Hey, Shogun fans. You waiting for this movie, RJ?
No.
You should be. You better be. I've got 2 pairs of tickets to give away. We got a free screening, or not a free to you if you win, screening of the movie Shogun coming up at the Casablanca. You will get free popcorn and drink to go enjoy what is a much heralded movie, a remake of a James Michener novel from way back when. If it's as good as the book, it should be a good movie. I think people will enjoy it. And I'm excited to get tickets.
I didn't know this was a book.
I want you to go read the book. That's going to be your homework.
No, I refuse. I reject this.
That's RJ Ochoa. He's the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, and no better resource for the conversation that we're having now, because as the Cowboys, and we've talked about it, RJ has pointed out more than once that Jerry and Steven have bungled Dak from the get-go, from the very first opportunity to sign a new deal to where we find ourselves now has been a series of Inspector Clouseau bumbling efforts that have led to nothing but overpaying for what has been a moderate to very good quarterback. I mean, at the end of the day, his numbers, when you look at them, justify, I believe, what he's about to get paid. But it just is so hard for us to fathom that he's going to get this. And the numbers kind of say he deserves it.
Dak finished second in MVP voting in the NFL. There's nothing to sneeze at. He finished second in EPA and completion percentage over expectation composite. He finished second in adjusted EPA per play. He finished second in general EPA per play. He finished second in success rate. He finished, top board in every single possible statistic that you can possibly find. I guess if you want to be super nitty gritty in FTN Fantasy's quarterback DVOA, which I know you are a big fan of. He only finished 8th. So what a loser.
Okay, wait, I love this stat.
Okay. He is, even if he did only finish 8th in all these things, he would still get this deal. I don't know how people still get upset about it.
So we got to get over the fact it's happening. It's the hurricane. It's coming. You can have a party. You can run from it, but it's going to come. It's happening. So give me the best possible benefit. Okay, the deal is done. He's getting 60 over 5, lots up front money, but there is some benefit to go ahead and getting it done. And how does that help me as Cowboy fan?
It gives you salary cap space to do other things. But that's why it should have been done ASAP. It should have been done a year ago, and it wasn't. And if it had been done a year ago, you would have had to have paid, I don't know, $52 million per year. But if I told you right now you could have it $52 million per year or 60, what would you say? You'd say 52. And that's the thing. Like, you have to pay market rate at some point. It is inevitable. You can't. No one is stupid enough to buy your, fraud. Well, we're the Cowboys and you actually get all these off the field benefits and endorsements and blah, blah. Nobody's going to do that. Nobody. This isn't 1998 anymore where that actually means something. And so you have to get ahead of things. You have to be proactive. You have to bite the bullet. And they are a team that is notorious for not doing that. It's not just Dak Prescott's deal. Find the deal. Find the extension that they've handed out in the last 5, 6, 7 years that has been forward thinking. There have been none. They have just been chasing their tails on all these things.
It's their fault. Can they get themselves? Can they right the ship? Is that the first positive move to getting things done? Like, all right, you've screwed everything up, but obviously the linchpin is the Dak deal. And if they get the Dak deal just right, can they find room to maybe go spend just a little bit above market on a running back just to make sure they get him and somebody else doesn't? Can they go ahead and chase that replacement left, however Tyron or Tyler Land, however all that works out, go find and spend a little bit more there? If Dak and not so much the paid is done right, can they begin to fix some of the endemic problems that Jerry and Steven have brought on themselves?
I'll answer that by saying this. There is a worst possible case scenario.
Okay.
And from a efficiency standpoint, and I'm a fan of Dak. I think it makes sense to pay Dak. I understand all factors at play, but if you just drag your feet on this and don't pay Dak until the summer, that's the worst way to go about this. I mean, from an efficiency standpoint, because if you're going to do it, like we're saying, you got to bite the bullet. You got to do it now so you can alleviate that salary cap space so you can go get help around him. You can't wait until August when we're all in Oxnard together and do it then and then say like, well, who do you want us to go sign? There's nobody, whatever. The same way that all these, silly fans are like, well, how do you expect them to court a defensive coordinator when their coach is in a lame duck gear? These are all their decisions. So you have to do this as soon as possible. Free agency begins in less than a month, in about 3 weeks' time. This has to be done before then so that you have that salary cap space to work with, because you do have a window. You do have an opportunity to go get this, that, or the other, whether it's a running back or a left toe, left shoe, Jason Minix, whatever. You have to do it as soon as possible. You have to get off the couch like Suri in the beautiful game of Survivor.
What about those that say, just let him go? What's the point? What, we can alleviate the pain. Just let him go.
You think you can alleviate the pain, but to simply let him go, you have to absorb a just astronomical cap hit this year, and you have to significantly handicap your ability to bring in anybody to help.
So is there any argument to say, okay, that's fine, I'm willing, but once I get through the desert, it'll be so much better?
If you are, that head in the sand full of hatred for Dak Prescott, that you are just, I want him gone. I think that is the path of least resistance. You know what I mean? Like that would be it. But I don't think that that's living in reality. Again, if this was a dude who we were really stretching to support from a statistical standpoint, I would absolutely come to bat with you on this. But the assertion that he's trash or what, and I'm not advocating for how he played in the playoffs. Like, I mean, everybody obviously saw he was awful in the playoffs. They were all awful, and I'm not making up for him whatsoever. But to be out with the bathwater would be kind of a hindsight decision, especially when this is a team and a franchise that has a horrible track record with doing this on purpose. I mean, when they try to find a quarterback, they bungle it so badly. I mean, they have only found the two that they have in this whole drought by complete and total accident. So you know what I'm saying? Like you are taking a risk upon risk upon risk upon risk at this entire idea for what? Because you're too, closed-minded to admit that he's actually kind of good?
I'll tell you, and we're going to talk about it as the show goes. I'm starting to kind of land on it might be time for some elective surgery.
What?
It might be time to, the knee replacement. I could suffer for another couple of years.
Oh my gosh.
I could just go suffer for 6 months, man. And know in 7 months, I might be back up on the track.
It's not 7 months, man. I mean, like, to live in your analogy, you have a bad knee. That's the, like, or you think, like, you don't feel you don't feel like yourself. You don't feel like your prime self. You just like, I don't know, just when it gets cold out and the doctor's like, well, dude, like you're pretty healthy. And you're just like, no, just
no,
cut
I think
off.
we're beyond
just
in this analogy. I think we're to the point where the doctor's going,
Rob, he finished second in MVP voting. What do you mean the doctor's going?
You go, but my point is the doctor's going, this is as good as it's ever going to be. That your knee just ran a marathon. Dak got second in MVP. This is as good as Dak is ever going to be. And next year it's going to be worse, and it's going to be worse, and it's going to be worse. So while you still got the strength, let's replace your knee now. Let's not wait for 3 years while you have atrophied to the point where you won't even be able to rehab. Let's not spend $60 million. Let's just rip it off, baby. Let's just go through rehab and you'll be back
isn't
in
what
2 years.
The replacing
stronger.
isn't as simple as you're saying it. Like you're saying,
like,
oh, let's replace
it in 1 year. I've watched it.
No, you have no idea what replacing it looks like. You don't just get to say, yeah, give me the titanium knee and I'll bounce back and I'll do the rehab. The replacing this, let me stick my hand in the drawer of materials, to see what my knee's going to be made out of in the future. And let me have a surgeon who's never done this before put it on, and let me have a physical therapist who has actually no accreditation be the person who guides. Like, again, you're trying to weave through all of these hurdles.
I also think some of us that are kind of like, dude, I'll take the filling. I'll take the shot of bourbon. Let me pull the tooth, man. I'm going to be castaway. I'm just going to knock this thing out. I'll come to in a couple hours. It might not
this
feel
comment
too
from
good
Brian
for a minute
is ridiculous. This comment says, I would rather go 1-16.
Well, I'm not that far.
But
I am of the mind
Brian,
that's
you are so lying and being ridiculous.
Okay, we got to go to break, but I am curious. Those our morning crew, which the sane group in our listeners, and we got some wackos, but the sane group, the morning ones. I want to hear from you guys. Are you willing to suffer? 656-3776, 656-ESPN. It's also worthy of a poll. We're going to be talking about this because I do think the closer we get to the nut cutting time, as it's known around the ranch, there are some people that might have some second thoughts about this. And we're going to hear from Jimmy Johnson. There's evidently a blue ribbon committee that he's a member of that has caused all kinds of consternation amongst Dallas Cowboy fans, started by a great writer named Fish. We're going to talk about that. But coming back, 5 + 7 = $1 billion. We'll tell you what that means coming up next. You're on the Morning Huddle. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas, with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th. Presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1, San Antonio's Sports Star.
Now is the best time to buy a Connecticut water softener. With current models being closed out to make way for the new ones, you can save big. Call Connecticut at 656-PURE and tell them Dave Ramsey sent you. That's 656-PURE.
Don't let pain keep you from doing the things you love. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Odyssey. At Odyssey, we fix pain fast. Whether you've been living with chronic and nagging pain for years, or if you've recently experienced an injury, our goal is to get you out of pain as quickly as possible. Odyssey is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, Odyssey accepts most insurance plans. There's a location near you. Visit Odyssey.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Odyssey, we fix pain fast.
Let our team keep your home running comfortable and worry-free. Call on Mr. Electric for all your electrical needs. 210-248-2026. Or get a hold of us online at mrelectric.com and enter your zip code.
License number TECL 34221.
Joe Reinagle here. I want to tell you about something that has completely changed my life. I had vision correction surgery at Parkhurst New Vision. The results are amazing. The readers are a thing of the past. Hey, if you're like me and tired of those glasses, call Parkhurst New Vision at 210-585-2020. They offer a variety of services like vision correction surgery. So call Parkhurst New Vision, 210-585-2020, or get them online at SanAntonioLASIK.com.
Pork rinds pack a protein punch and are the boldest low-carb snacks out there. Skip the chip and try Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds for that ultimate crunch. And with flavors that will have you craving for more, the time to stock up on Southern Recipe at H-E-B is now. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. Be big, be bold, be adventurous.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Hurt in a wreck? Get George. Hit by an 18-wheeler or commercial truck? Get George. Injured at work? Get George. When you're dealing with personal injury, you need to get George because George gets justice. I'm George Salinas, and my San Antonio-based firm has been recognized across the state of Texas and the United States. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com.
Hello, this is Chip with Diamond J Properties. You're invited to our coastal waterfront grand opening on March 2nd, where you can get 2 acres with bay access for only $49.9. That's right, 2 acres bay access for only $49.9. This coastal waterfront community has over 4 miles of water frontage with access to the ICW, Gulf, Matagorda Bay, and much more. Property features paved roads, underground utilities, boat launch, pier, pool, cabana, and more. This property is shown by appointment only. Call now, 210-853-0389, 210-853-0389, 210-853-0389. 210-853-0389.
This is Jim Rome. Join me weekdays at noon on my new home, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Anybody get that number? It's the Morning Huddle here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. RJ Ochoa, he manages the editing of Blogging the Boys. I am Rob Thompson. I know where my car is today, and Easy E on the other side of the double pane. I want to thank Jason Thompson for doing Jason Minix, but Jason Minix in particular for putting on his pajamas and doing the show from his kitchen table yesterday. And I also want to congratulate him on he made me a tri-tip. He made a tri-tip over the weekend that was spectacular. Did the chimichurri too. Respect must be given to those that earned it, and that is one fine piece of meat. By the way, if you like to photo your meat, you can upload a photo at sasportstar.com every Thursday at 6 o'clock. They give away a $50 gift card to Tri-County Meat Market, My Meat Market, make them yours. And an easy way to do that is to photograph your meat and let Joe Reinagle evaluate it. He can evaluate meat on a hoof. Did you ever do FFA stuff?
Big. I did not, but my wife did. So, I did by proxy, I suppose.
Unanimously yesterday, the College Board of Managers and Moneymakers, otherwise known as the athletic departments, voted unanimously to adopt the 5-7 format for our imminent playoff that allowed the Pac-12 to come in as a full-on power conference, though they only have 2 members. What they've done is they said, well, no matter what, the Pac-12 will not count in the first 2 years. So it's going to really be 5+ or 4+8 kind of. And then in 2 years, once the Pac-12 figures out who the hell they are and they add to the ranks, then the Pac-12 will be a full-fledged Power 5 member. And they've even said, this extra +7 probably be better for us the next couple of years. Anyway, if we do want to try to make the playoffs. So all have agreed. Notre Dame acquiesced. They're part of the voting thing. And this was probably a difficult vote for these guys, RJ, because they're going to rely on the kindness of strangers. They don't have a conference to win.
I'm not worried about that.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah. I'm not gonna. I don't think any Notre Dame fan is waking up shaking in their boots. I mean,
but we can hope, can't we? A man can dream, can he?
I can't wait for the first This is why we need 5 + 11. You know what I mean? This is not enough. This is just. We need more.
We need more. We need more silver and black, and that's coming. But I want to give away some Shogun tickets on the way out. We're watching Shogun at a movie theater near you tomorrow. You want to go see Shogun, a free screening, get popcorn and a drink to go along with it. 656-3776. First guy Edwin talks to gets it.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, the Spurs get back to work after a long all-star break. The rodeo road trip continues. Will they fare any better?
Yeah, it's possible. Speaking of the rodeo, Reinagle was there last night. A food and sticks concert review. And Dak Prescott resetting the quarterback market. That's coming up on The Blitz starting at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Right now at Staples, you can print like a pro and save like a boss. Introducing the new HP OfficeJet Pro all-in-one printers. Professional HP quality, blazing HP speeds. Perfect for printing color presentations, flyers, brochures, and more at the home office or the office. And now at Staples, HP OfficeJet Pro printers are up to $90 off, so you can print and save like a pro. For the best deals on America's most trusted printer brand, HP, shop Staples today. Ends 3/2. Offer good in-store and online.
Fabric Talk. Hey, it's me, your couch. Today's my favorite day of the week. Febreze Fabric Spray Day. The occasional deep cleanse are nice, but in between, I'm needing a refresh. Ooh, here she comes with the Febreze Fabric Spray. Oh yeah, spritz them armrests. Don't be shy. Nothing like a good spray down to get me smelling so fresh and clean. Don't forget my bag. Nice. Febreze fabric spray. It's just that easy. Now we can both breathe happy. Febreze. La 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 la.
For John's 60th birthday, his family planned to drive down Old Route 66. But the trip took a detour when his wife got sick with RSV. It's a highly contagious virus that can lead to breathing problems and hospitalizations.
This year, we don't want to cancel our plans. We're protecting ourselves with Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo, respiratory syncytial virus vaccine.
Abrysvo, a vaccine to prevent lower respiratory disease from RSV in people 60 years and older. It's not for everyone and may not protect all who receive it. Don't get Abrysvo if you've had an allergic reaction to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may decrease your response. Most common side effects are tiredness, headache, injection site pain, and muscle pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-844-989-7284 or visit abrysvo.com.
So don't wait. Ask your pharmacist or doctor about Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo, because every breath matters.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Sick and tired of achy joints? Dread the idea of surgery? You need to call QC Kinetics today. Hey, it's James Spudger with San Antonio Sports Star. Listen, the state of healthcare is always changing. The old ideas like steroids and surgery are no longer your only options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative and non-surgical drug-free treatments that deliver lasting results. Knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain, pain from arthritis or injury. Don't let this pain keep you from living your best life. QC Kinetics' advanced state-of-the-art treatments harness and direct your body's natural ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. This is a revolutionary approach that can get you long-term relief with no downtime. Make 2024 the year you reclaim your mobility, reclaim your independence, walk, run, play, and live without the danger and trauma of surgery and without harmful drugs. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium benefits. 1,500 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, we have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions. They'll tell you if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-378-4750. So if you've been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, call now. Find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-378-4750 to speak with a live person now. Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
Ahead of the field and throws it down with a right hand.
Your home for the NBA. San Antonio's Sports Center.
In the NBA, two of France's most recognizable brands are joining forces as Louis Vuitton will welcome Victor Wembanyama into their house as a brand ambassador. Victor will no longer have to shop at Mellon's Tall and Fat, as Louis Vuitton will have him on as they both strive for excellence with a perpetual honing of their craft. Victor joins Louis Vuitton on the journey of shared values and aligned ambitions.
Wembanyama three. Goes behind the back here. Oh! Little sidestep and a jam by Wembanyama. Drive. Oh, it's not the one he plays. Wembanyama.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here's Rob and RJ.
Hey, gather around. We got something to talk about. It is the Morning Huddle. This is Talking Silver and Black. We do it every day at 7. RJ Ochoa, Blogging the Boys. I'm Rob Thompson. Easy E keeping this train on its tracks for the next 3 hours. Congratulations to the Shogun ticket winner. We will be giving away another pair of Shogun tickets. They're going to be giving you a little pre-party tomorrow night, Thursday, at Casablanca at 7 o'clock. I have a pair of tickets that we'll give away here in the next 2 hours. I'm going to say about 8:30, 8:28 or so, 8:27. Let me pencil that in, RJ. You ready for the second half of the season?
I mean, I guess.
I think that's the general attitude, isn't it?
You didn't get to offer takes on the All-Star weekend. It was, look, I'll say it. It was kind of flat for Wemby. And that's not Wemby's fault. I'm happy the Louis Vuitton stuff happened. That's cool. But, you know, I felt I wanted so much more. You know what I mean? And he was let down. I had a great tweet. I don't know if you saw. It said, you know, just like a standard Spurs. I'm paraphrasing now, but just like a standard Spurs game, Wemby was let down by his teammates.
Yep.
So.
Anthony Edwards shooting left-handed. What the hell's going on over here? And I was afraid of it, and they did it. He had to wear the brown. Had to wear the brown sweatshirt. And I'm surprised the Louis Vuitton even let him in after they saw him. Like, dude, you're beyond help. Like, really, you're going to be representing our brand, walking around in that brown.
If there was a Louis Vuitton Wemby jersey, would you wear it?
Well, hell yeah.
I know. Actually, on this line, Jason and I were talking yesterday about, we talked about sports for 4 hours, obviously. But we were talking about the Spurs, again, obviously. And the subject of LeBron came up. And I said, if LeBron ever became a Spur, would you get his jersey? And Jason very proudly said, no, I'm too good for that. I wouldn't get a LeBron Spurs jersey. And I said,
okay, let me ask you the question, because I'm on Jason's side here.
Oh my God.
Do you own or would you ever chase a Jordan Wizards jersey?
Different.
How about
Different
a
thing.
Shaq Phoenix Suns jersey?
Am
or
I a
Shaq
Wizards or a Suns fan?
Celtics?
No.
But I don't even think Phoenix fans would ever buy a Shaq jersey. It was a pit
I think
stop.
that they totally would. That would be cool.
I think if he ever arrived, it would be such a pit stop, old man tour part of it that it might be worthy of a T-shirt.
Oh my gosh.
Or I don't
the
know.
haterade
But
is out in full force. Today.
LeBron would never be a Spur. Just like Shaq is never going to be ever thought of as a Celtic.
Are you excited for the second half of the season?
Absolutely not. But I will say this: that as we head down the other side of this slope, I have been starting to pay a little bit more attention to college basketball, and it does kind of lend Spurs fans. You know, if we're in this for the draft, which it appears we are, you might as well start paying attention. And I've seen a couple of dudes over the last couple of days where I'm kind of like, all right, if this is the road we're on. This point guard for Kentucky.
Don't do this.
I'm just saying that has a little bit of something that is very unique in basketball. It's not a great draft, but
we have a point guard. His name is Trae Young. We're good. We don't need to talk point guards.
We kind of
do.
I
mean,
we kind of don't. No, it's a worthy conversation.
I'll ask you the question I asked Jason. If in the summer the Spurs do not have a player on their team that has been an all-star in the last 3 years, is it a failure?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yes. So then what are you doing wasting your time watching college basketball for to find your point?
Because I think I found one.
Oh, that's great. I mean, you can have your little point guard project, but the point guard that I'm interested in is Trae Young. That's the future that I need to get to.
RJ, I like Trae, and I'm not saying get rid of him, but we have to be realists here. He is not a long-term starting point guard in the NBA. He's not. He is an NBA point guard, and he's worthy of 20 minutes a game, worthy of 15 minutes a game. He's worthy of time on the court, but there's a skill set that he will not and ever have. And either you have to improve leaps and bounds everybody around him, or you improve the quality of the point guard to have him help the other guys. And there's some guys out there that would help. And if we are going to continue to do what we're doing, 11 wins well past midway of the season, we're going to be in a position to draft somebody. And it appears by action and by history, the Spurs have no intention other than to sign a big-time free agent, move those picks, which I would say is probably 50-50. But the other part of the 50 is a draft. And I think Rob Dillingham at Kentucky, if I'm if I'm looking out there, I'm going, well, if this is the way we're going, I think this guy might have something. So it's time for me as an NBA fan, as a silver and black guy, to start going, well, hurricane's coming. I can either have a party, but let's pull some sandbags and get ready for it, because this is imminent. We're going to be in the lottery and have a couple of opportunities to go really, really high in this.
I just don't know. I can't put all my eggs in the draft is going to save us again. I can't. I mean,
I'm not saying save. I'm giving you I'm grasping on one little branch before I fall into the abyss. I mean, literally, as Spurs fans, I think we all are, because what we saw over the weekend was the NBA is ready to catapult Wemby into the stars. They're ready to send him. They're ready. They want him. They want the Spurs to be successful. They are setting the table. And as we come into this season, at the end of the season, it's really going to be interesting to watch as we saw all those young stars be given the platforms to become what is coming. Anthony Edwards was Shai Gilgeous. We saw the stars really play well, but the old school Dame repeats. The old school guys are still there. And I'll be interested to see what the storyline in the playoffs is. Is it finally time for Jason Tatum to ascend in the Celtics, or will it be yet again guys from the near and the long-term past? With that in mind, the near and long-term kind of come together in Giannis and Milwaukee. Over the weekend, as everybody kind of took a breath and looked forward to the second half of the season, Doc Rivers talked about how he became the head coach of the Bucks. And, by his intimation was, I didn't really want to do this. And, I was on the bench and I was just kind of watching, and I just acquiesced and I did it. And since I've joined, our team sucks. JJ Redick played for Doc. I almost fell out of there, but I caught it. JJ Redick played for Doc in LA. They share a history with the Sixers. So there's some lineage between the two. This is JJ Redick in response to Doc giving, and what JJ said, an excuse for coming back in his team's performance.
I've seen the trend now. I've seen the trend for years.
What's the trend?
The trend is always making excuses. Doc, we get it. Taking over a team in the middle of the season is hard. It's hard. We get it. Just like getting traded in the middle of the season is hard for a player. We get it. But it's always an excuse. It's always throwing your team under the bus. They lose to Memphis. Oh, it's his players' fault. Memphis was playing G League guys and two-way guys. And then you look at his quotes over the weekend. Now he wants to take credit for the James Harden trade to the Clippers working out. He wants credit for that. There's never accountability with that guy.
JJ Redick talking about his former coach. Now,
you dropping that guy.
I'll tell you, everything he said is true. I'm not a current Doc Rivers fan. I was a Doc Rivers fan in the past, but I think his methodologies are obvious, and JJ Redick pointed it out, that he'll take every bit of success, but he'll blame the players whenever there's a problem.
I don't know what. So I agree with you, by the way, on JJ and his point, and it's well said. JJ's really coming up. It's a lot of times this like hot rising media personality ultimately fizzles. JJ feels a little bit different.
Yeah,
I feel like there's a little bit of staying power here. But anyway, what does Doc have to be so surly about? I mean, like right now. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, you've been there for 5 minutes, man. You know what I mean? Like, what are you so bothered by right now? What is like
because
stuck
his
in your
team
craw?
Sucks. No matter where he goes, there's always something. By the time he left the Clippers, you're like, dude, get a hold of your team. And then he gets to Philadelphia and the chaos that ensued. I mean, when he was a Celtic coach, he had the perfect mixture of exactly what I thought a modern coach needed to be. But since then, it has just been a steady digression into him. They're not good enough. They're not living up. This is hard, and the stars, and all the things that he's saying. And I kind of, when I heard JJ, I was like, dude, you hit it on the head. And I'm glad NBA types are seeing what I felt like I was seeing. But then Austin Rivers retorted. Austin, his son, he even coached his son. Remember, there in LA. I thought as soon as Austin Rivers was going to say anything, it would be the typical son defense. But listen to what Austin Rivers has to say. And I think what he's saying is valid.
First off, I don't feel responsible to take off for my dad. He's a grown man. He can do his own thing. But in this regard, I just simply don't agree with it. For someone who's not accountable, he seems to always be held responsible, considering he's the guy that's always fired when things don't go right. He got fired in the bubble for a 3-1 lead versus the Denver Nuggets, which in half his team didn't want to be there. They had players saying that their mind wasn't there. He had guys leave. That happened. Then he gets fired for losing to a team that was favored over him, which was the Celtics last year. It seems like he's always responsible. It's just as strange coming from JJ. And I have some love for JJ. You're my dookie. You know that. You're my bro. I love you. It's just your best years were with the Clippers. I don't think he saved your career. I appreciate you, Pat. But this just seems a little bit weird. They're 3-7. Dame has missed most of those games. Middleton's missed a lot of those games. They haven't even had their full team yet. We'll see what happens. The pressure is there. They do have to perform. But in terms of accountability, like what are we doing here? Your best years in the NBA were when you played for him in the Clippers. Let's not forget that. I don't know if there's like frustration there or there's tension there between you. I know a lot of times we had to sit you towards the end of the game due to defensive reasons, but you had your best years as a starter there, especially our whole system was drafted around you because you're a shooter. You're not a guy who could put the ball on the floor. You were a strictly shoot guy. You're not like Klay Thompson or Steph who could put the ball on the floor. You're a guy who could catch and shoot. And you did it at a high level. Hell of a career, by the way. Big fan. But your best years were under him. It's just very ironic and kind of weird that you have this energy towards him in terms of him never, ever being accountable, considering he's always been responsible.
I have a take. Okay, it's kind of a mini grievance. I know this isn't the time.
Oh, no. It's always the time.
As a society, when we think we're like cooking, we misuse the word ironic all the time. Like
oh, yeah.
Yeah. This wasn't ironic, Austin.
Ironic at all.
Okay, just so we're clear. Like, I know that you think that was a burn, but it just actually was literally incorrect. I think that Austin's point or retort was mostly valid, but it got a little bit personal. I don't think that JJ was personal against Doc. And, Austin defended, I guess, Doc in saying,
that was not ironic, by the way.
Well, yeah, it wasn't. I mean, nothing about it was ironic, but I guess he defended Doc in saying they're 3-7. Dame's missed most of those games. Nothing about what JJ said was like, oh, the Bucks suck. Doc sucks. You know what I mean? Like it had nothing to do with their record. It had everything to do with what the things that Doc is saying.
Right.
And that's completely on Doc Rivers at this point in time. Like he's the one, the things that people are coming for him for at this point in time are completely self-induced. No, like you're saying the team sucks, and that's fair. But at the end of the day, are you worried about the Bucks? Like the Bucks are a Final Four team in the East, right? At the very least, on talent alone, they'll get there. And so you have no idea what that ultimately turns out to. But this moved the goalpost for me a little bit. Like Austin was defending against things that weren't even there. Like, why did we have to talk about who JJ Redick was as a player? Like that had nothing to do with this conversation.
Well, I think you said, dude, everything you're complaining about, he did for you. Like he put an offense together that fit your skill set. He protected you on defense. I don't understand why you're talking about making excuses because yeah, you can say what you want, but the dude got fired for things that a couple of times weren't even his fault. I mean, the bubble shouldn't be held against anybody, no matter. And the further we get away from it, the more we realize that was all fake. So
I'm not holding anything against
no,
Doc
but I do think on the other side that Doc's time has come and gone. That for his success will lie solely on this skill set of his players. He's not going to improve them. He might put them in different situations to make them a little bit more successful. But his time as an improver and, a team grower like he did in Boston, which he inherited by a bunch of dudes that came by way of other stuff. And then the way he did in Philly. Now he's just a dude that roll out the ball and hope everybody gets along. He'll draw some nice plays up for you. But the moment things go south, there's nothing there. He doesn't communicate with his guys. And I think that is what is being reinforced here. But I also never took into account that Doc has paid the price sometimes for things that weren't necessarily on him.
I would also offer it. I don't think anybody judged Doc in the past off of, sample size. I mean, Doc's had time, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like he's never had a small sample size that worked against him. Like he's always had time to put together an entire project. And nobody like the take here is not Doc sucks. The take is not he's the worst coach in the NBA. The take is Doc is making this a lot more volatile than it has to be. I mean, he's stirring the pot of drama. The Bucks are not a dramatic team, and they have become this meme and this joke in the same way the Sixers were I mean, and the common denominator there is him and his behavior, not his, skills or assets on the floor as a coach. This is everything, for at least from my vantage point, about what he's doing in terms of non-game action. What this whole thing that JJ even responded to was so unnecessary from Doc. What are you doing? What good is coming from these conversations that you're offering, or this information that you're offering? Like, this is only creating more dysfunction that you were supposed to be brought in to solve and cure.
And okay, so that's one experienced coach that has skins on the wall that can say, I know how to get to the mountaintop. We'll listen to you. And he has gotten fired and destroyed for some things that, let's be real, Coach Pop hasn't even been considered getting fired for. I mean, he suffered and lost some guys, had guys mad at him to leave. Moves have been made. At what point will it ever happen that the Doc treatment finally starts landing in San Antonio, where people start going, yeah, but tired of excuses here. What do you mean we all got to get to know each other? What are you talking about? These guys have been around each other long enough.
If you asked your Facebook friends, which is a interesting net to cast, I recognize that. But if you asked people that on the book and said, should Pop be fired? Should Pop be this? I think most people would say no.
But
you know what I mean? Like, and that's the loudest sector of fan that there is. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are a lot of people who are frustrated and a lot of people who feel like Pop should be held accountable for this, because the fact that we're sitting on 11 wins right now is pathetic. I mean, it's not just embarrassing. It's not just sad. It's actually it's an incredible under-delivering on this season.
And did you get the sense over the weekend that there was this, damn, why aren't they better? There was this, man, I really wish y'all were better so we could really kind of put Victor on the platform that he deserves to be on. I mean, they really did want to highlight what he was and all the things how many packages did you see on both Saturday and Sunday on Wemby? I mean, they followed him around reading to kids, and this is Wemby in this crowd, and this is him sitting next to Trey, and oh my goodness, did we get enough photo ops between those two guys over the weekend? So
they are so lucky. I mean, we are so lucky. On Friday night when Wemby was introduced, it was so cool how he pointed to the Spurs logo on his warm-up jacket. And man, don't abuse that. Don't take that for granted. You know what I mean? Like how much this dude loves this team and how much this dude loves this culture and what's going on here. And maybe that's why they're sending the benefit as far as they are.
You hit it on the head.
That's worth considering.
I think you have hit it on the head, that he is happy and they don't want to rock the cart. And if they, if it involves losing a few more games, they're willing to do that.
It's just such a shame. I mean, and maybe we are trying to have our cake and eat it too, which is an expression I'm not a fan of. But I mean, it's difficult to be this bad. It's difficult to be this bad, and they have found a way.
Well, I want to put you on the sense. See, that's where, okay, I'm bringing you along to where I want you to be. So if we know that the difficulty in being this bad, we have to assume that a guy like Pop and the brain trust that is has a plan, a goal in mind. That it might not have been the original goal, but they've recalibrated and we're headed towards something. And if it is indeed the draft, now is the time to start paying attention. So as we start getting closer and closer to the tournament, as the conference season starts to wind down and games truly matter, now's the time as Spurs fan to start dialing into these college games and going, okay, I'm looking at my roster. I know what free agents are going to be out there, and I know the Spurs are going to swing for the fences for that. But the guys that win titles are the ones that you draft at 15. The guys that you draft at 8 that you kind of think, if things work out, this might be perfect. The kind of thing the Spurs really haven't done very well lately. Well, my first guy that I'm looking at, Rob Dillingham. I'm Spurs fans, if you haven't been paying attention, go watch him. Do you think that's the kind of guy that is draftable in the top 10 that could immediately help? In my mind, as I head through what's going to be a plot, I don't see any wins coming anytime soon. I have to find something to look forward to and hang my hat on. And now it's going to be the college draft. I did it last year with Wemby, and I'm readjusting and recalibrating in a lot of different ways. And this is one of them. I'm going to just pay attention to college basketball and look at this process as one that's going to be not on my schedule, because that's obvious. Not on the Spurs fan schedule. And Pop's made it very, very apparent. This is a Spurs thing, and this is a glacial movement. This ain't a quick turnaround idea.
you mentioned it might be time to pay just a little bit more attention to the college world to open things up. And that was a thought I shared yesterday as well. And so I thought, okay, this is UConn's world. Let me see what their world looks like. Poof. Like, it was just a funny thing to dive into yesterday, specifically in that particular.
And then watch Creighton take down UConn on the road.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, the mighty Creighton. Who would have thought?
They bombed them, and it was a fun basketball game. And if you are indeed a basketball fan and you're starved for entertainment without something to, without an allegiance, the college games over the last couple of days have really been heating up as conference season winds down. And of course, we're the home for your Texas Aggies. Last night they went down to Arkansas, who came into College Station and beat them. I don't know what to make of the different conferences. I will say this as we get closer and closer to the tournament, that I don't know what the Big 12 either scares me to death, or there could be 3 teams from the Big 12 in the Final Four. It's one or the other. They could all be really good, or they could all be just awful enough to make each other look good, if that makes any sense. Because a couple of years ago, the Big 10 did that to us. They sent like 9 teams to the tournament, and all of them lost in the first weekend.
I mean, we're approaching the most wonderful time of the year, obviously, in a lot of ways. And the number of kind of question marks that are hovering that we're going to have chaotic answers to in the weeks that unfold is just, it's beautiful.
Coming back, Jimmy Johnson was on a local news station. What was that? What did he say this?
This
yesterday?
was recent. I don't know. I think you said it Monday.
On Monday.
Might have been Monday.
You get familiar with guys and you start joking around. And Jimmy made a comment regarding, his recent induction into the Ring of Honor and what that meant. And he has been, in his words, brought in on a special committee. That little thing lit a fire that is still kind of burning. We're going to talk about the reaction to a Jimmy quote that was taken out of context. I think you're going to enjoy this because this is so symbolic of the way the Dallas Cowboys continue to bungle things. Congrats, Jimmy. You're in the Ring of Honor, and now it's a blue ribbon committee thing that put a writer out on a limb. It's going to be an interesting conversation. Stay around with us. You're going to enjoy it. You're on the Morning Huddle. He's RJ Ochoa. I'm Rob Thompson. We'll be right back here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, the Spurs get back to work after a long all-star break. The rodeo road trip continues. Will they fare any better?
Yeah, it's possible. Speaking of the rodeo, Reinagel was there last night. A food and sticks concert review, and Dak Prescott resetting the quarterback market. That's coming up on The Blitz starting at 2.
The Blitz and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Is the IRS making you feel anxious? Do you have multiple years of unfiled taxes or owe more than $8,000? The tax attorneys at Allies Tax Relief specialize in problems like yours, and they're ready to negotiate your fresh start. Don't go another year fearing the IRS. Allies Tax Relief will stop the IRS from garnishing your wages or levying your bank account. You only pay if you qualify for their services, so why wait? Call 800-280-4184 today. That's 800-280-4184.
Hey, poker players, the Big Blind is open. With a true Vegas feel, the Big Blind is the premier poker room in San Antonio, featuring an upscale environment catering to players from all abilities. Whether you are seeking high-octane tournaments or lively cash games, the Big Blind has a game for everyone. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road, just down from the Rue Pub, offers daily cash games to daily, weekly, and monthly tournaments. Learn more online at thebigblindsa.com. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-5407. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-5407. That's 800-575-5407. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The way the NBA season is going in San Antonio, you need to find a way to add excitement to watching those games. Jason Minix here from The Blitz. The way to do that is by playing at Underdog Fantasy. Go download the Underdog Fantasy app and start playing the Pick'em game, where you pick between 2 and 5 players from at least 2 different teams. Select whether they will be higher or lower on stats, and if your picks hit, you can win up to 100 times your money. It is fantasy, but legal in Texas. So download the Underdog Fantasy app or go to UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up, use my promo code STAR, and Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. Plus, they'll give you a mystery special pick to use on your first Pick'em entry. Must be over 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Again, promo code STAR at UnderdogFantasy.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
This is Rob Thompson. I'm here with my brother, Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com.
I'm a lawyer for you. I've helped you.
Yes, he has, and many others here in San Antonio. And that's why I'm so glad I get a chance to talk to you today about what happens when you get into an accident.
It's overwhelming for everybody involved. You have this paralysis of what to do next, who to talk to, how do you get medical care, or you're in the hospital and who's going to pay for this? It's this swirl of anxiety, and many times it's even worse than the injury itself. You have to help people through that situation. And I tell every client the same thing. Don't worry. I've got this. I will take care of this. Just worry about your family. Just worry about getting healthy. If I can do that for you and maximize your recovery, you stay in business, you keep clients. And for 30 years, I've kept every client I've ever had. I don't lose clients. I represent their family and friends because that's how seriously I take my job.
A lawyerforus.com. You can find him at 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com.
Good morning, everybody. Joe Reinagle here. Coming up on the Blitz, I saw Sticks last night. Went to the rodeo. I'll have a review of that. Plus, $60 million for Dak Prescott. Say it ain't so. RJ, did you miss your cuddle with Jason this morning?
Did you miss the morning cuddle? It is the morning huddle. That's RJ Ocho. I'm Rob Thompson. Thanks for sitting in with us this morning. Don't mind them brake lights. We'll get you where you're going here on San Antonio Sports Star. So the internet's a crazy place. And you know, one of the things that as an older dude, there's such a difference in a conversation versus a text or an email, that the inflection, the attitude of the person speaking is very rarely, you can't always garner it from a text. Just because somebody says something, you don't know how they said it, you know, that maybe there wasn't the proper emphasis on certain things. So when you read that Jimmy Johnson says that I'm on some sort of ad hoc, what's the name of the committee?
It's you keep using the word committee.
Oh.
It's the advisory board.
Okay, board, Jimmy committee, said, yeah. They're all the same thing. The advisor, the Dallas Cowboys advisory board, which one I didn't know we had. If we do, we should. If we don't, we should. But that started a fire. So tell us the ramifications of a statement like that and where it went.
So this popped up on my radar. This is how the sausage gets made around here. On Monday evening, one of our contributors at Blog on the Boys sent a tweet to our Slack channel and said, hey, this is going around, you know, whatever. We just all kind of constantly communicate. And it was a a screenshot of a quote where Jimmy Johnson said, "I'm on the advisory board for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm back in the fold." And so then we had somebody else jump in, and again, this is how it all works. Do we need something on this?
Right.
I can do it. I'm free right now, whatever. And we said, wait a minute, what? Like, what? He said, when did he say this? Where did he say this? How did he say this? Whatever. And so I immediately start kind of cross-referencing and checking things, and jumped to the internet, and I quickly found other people as flummoxed as I was. Shout out to Bobby Bell of 105 Through the Fan and NFL Network. He was the first person I saw that pulled the audio that I know we have. This was Jimmy on 560 Sports WQAM in Miami in a conversation. This is on the Joe Rose Show, initially and originally about Tua Tagovailoa and the Dolphins, and then he had this to say.
So I got to ask, I haven't talked to you since the whole thing in the Ring of Honor and Jerry Jones and that relationship, which has kind of been back and forth. It was good to see. And Jimmy, I think it's probably the first time I can ever remember a guy going in the Hall of Fame way before going to the Ring of Honor. But that's okay. But I thought you were a real pro with the whole thing, Jimmy.
Well, since the Ring of Honor, Jerry and I, man, I'm on his advisory board now. We're talking on the phone. I talked to him about an hour after his Green Bay loss, and he's talking about what all he needed to do because he's had big decisions on Mike McCarthy and Dan Quinn and Dak Prescott. But everything's hunky dory now. So I'm back in the fold with the Cowboys.
So in jest,
you tell me whether you thought that to be a serious line or.
I will say what I took seriously was that hour-long conversation had ramifications. I will
that was
say
also
that
it's
meant
funny
something.
you say that because that also got misinterpreted. He says, I spoke to him about an hour after the season and after the game ended, not
an hour
or
after.
about an hour. Like everybody somehow came away thinking that the conversation lasted 1 hour. I mean, it might have, but what he says is I spoke to him about an hour after the regular season or the regular.
But I still think that whatever advice, whatever was offered from Jimmy I think probably had a lot to do with McCarthy staying. I do.
I'm not denying that. All I'm saying is this is the way the internet works now, and I'm not complaining about that.
So that being said, about the special ad hoc blue ribbon board of advisory.
Yeah, I saw this all over Reddit and message boards and Instagram posts and from fan accounts and things like that. And that's fine. Like, make your posts and things like that. But you just maybe do one step of work, where you check in this, because this was not, the way that just text would indicate it to be. A lot of people are truly, even still, of the mindset, oh, wow, Jimmy's on the advisory board. Brad Sham, the GOAT, tweeted out, he was asked about this. He said, there's no advisory.
Well, I'm going to pretend like there is. If there was an advisory board that included the GOAT, Brad Sham, and Jimmy, and, most boards of directors include a disparate cast of very experienced people in a wide range of fields because they bring to the board, their governorship, a perspective that's required to run a company. It's not the only decision maker, but it does aid in making a decision when you can bring something to the table that nobody else knows. So if there was one, I would like to think that Jimmy would be on it because he's both been in the circle and outside the circle and has been one of the few people that can go toe-to-toe with Jerry. He has. So I would like to think that if there was, would they, with Jimmy and let's say Stephen A. Smith, I would hire him bring him in as one of my board of governors because you're on the outside taking pop shots and your opinion is respected in some circles. I'd like to hear from you as we make our business decision. What would that committee with Jimmy and Stephen A. and name whoever else, would they say, all right, first on the agenda as we look for the next fiscal is Dak Prescott and the potential $60 million albatross that might be hung around our neck. Now, we could call it an albatross or we could call it an opportunity, but it's a whopping amount of money for a guy who can't win a playoff game. So if we're going that way.
He's won 2 playoff games. What?
Okay. Bad example, but we get the gist of what I'm talking about. One, does that take us further than we've been? He can't progress. Would this board of governors go, pay him, and let's fix this? Or would this board of governors with Jimmy and everybody else go, you know what? This is a dying thing. Let's kill it faster.
I think that it is great to see that Jimmy and Jerry have some level of relationship to where they can just be friendly. At the very least, that makes me happy, right? That fills my heart with
yeah, but how does it help me?
Well, okay,
what's in it for me?
I'm addressing what you said. The only people who are staunchly against the idea of paying Dak Prescott, there are two archetypes of people. One, Dallas Cowboys fans who are so just kind of blinded to anything other than their own rage about Dak that they don't want to pay him. That's one group of people that they don't want to do this, that aren't willing to acknowledge all the proper objective circumstances. Yeah, the Joe Ryan Eagles of the world. Although Joe's not a Cowboys fan, so it's hard to kind of put him in that.
He
box.
is. He just doesn't want to admit it.
And the other box is...
I love you, Dak. See?
The other box is hot take artists. That's it. Those are the only two people, only two archetypes that are against paying Dak Prescott.
Well, I think I don't have to be a hot take artist to give you enough validation to go, it ain't going to work. So you can decide now, you can pay him.
Second in MVP voting.
I know.
What do you mean? You can't, just like, I know, and dismiss, and it's like a dandelion in the wind. That's a big old deal.
It is. It's a huge deal, but I can say this is the best he's ever going to be. I've seen it. I don't think it can get any better. This was it.
This is the most difficult part about this whole process is forget the number. Forget it. Just close your mind off at the number, the 60, because people even still are like, I can't believe he's making $40 million. Do you realize the deal? Think about this, Rob. The deal he signed was 3 years ago. Three years ago. That's 1,000 days. Not even 1,000 days ago. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I guess probably at least approximately 1,000 days. In 3 years' time, the deal he's going to sign grew 50% in value. Think about that. That is stupid. That's impossible.
It's time to sell. It's time to let go of this depreciating asset now.
You're too attached to the number. It's the same thing. You're paying him the same percentage, but people see the big number, the $60 million, and they think, oh my gosh, we're paying him all this money. First of all, it's not your money, so I don't know why you're so upset. And second of all, it is the same relative percentage that he is taking up already. And when you do it, you get to bring in more players to help. And if you don't do it, you risk trying to find the most precious asset that an NFL team can possibly achieve, an experience in which the Dallas Cowboys specifically spectacularly fail at. They are not good at finding the thing you will need if you move on from Dak Prescott. That matters in this conversation. But the blind rage and the hot take boxes just look, 60, no way, and completely devoid themselves of all context.
I like what J4 put up here. And it is a good question. Why are the regular season stats such a big deal for a quarterback? Because there's only one Super Bowl champion. And there's be 31 other quarterbacks out there that you have to justify other stuff. And that's one of the reasons the Dak lovers say, I'd rather see 17 games of Dak Prescott and a lot of wins, and he might give us the best opportunity for a fun season. But I'll hope for the best of the playoffs. If you think
the regular season is meaningless, then you think Josh Allen is trash, and you think Lamar Jackson is trash. These goalposts move when it comes to Dak specifically because of the team.
But there is some of me that's like, you know what? I'm willing to spend a little bit less money on maybe something that's a little unknown, a little gunslinger, a little different, just to see if that's enough. Because this hasn't been. This hasn't worked by his fault.
What do you mean it hasn't worked?
Only thing right now, because everything else, the only thing I can quantify is the chase for the Super Bowl.
Okay, so they haven't done the incredibly difficult thing that only one quarterback has had success in doing consistently.
You're right. I'm not saying that the argument that I'm making is a sane one. because the sane one would be the argument that Jerry has been winning over the years. Make money, win the games. This is working spectacularly well. I don't know what the problem is.
My argument is born insanity, and it isn't anything to do with making money. It's to do with being consistently in the mix and maximizing your potential. But people want to penalize Dak because he's not Patrick Mahomes. I mean, and if you start living in that world, now you're truly on the opposite side of sanity.
I'm not penalizing him. I'm just giving him opportunity to be successful elsewhere.
See, like these kind of comments are silly to me. J4, I love you. But Josh Allen has made it to conference title games. Comparing him to Dak is unfair. First of all, he's only made it to a singular one, and it was 2020. And a lot of people, to your point about the bubble, Rob, don't necessarily evaluate that the same way, but that's neither here nor there. But that being said, so like if the regular season stats don't matter, now we're like giving him an award for appearing in a conference title game that they lost. You know what I'm saying? Like, why these are stupid badges of honor that we hand out. Like this is a stupid thing to say. Well, he appeared in one. You know who else appeared in one? Ryan Tannehill. Are we going to act like Ryan Tannehill is amazing? No, we're not going to do that because we're not silly. We don't have to do these silly little dumb ridiculous things. Case Keenum appeared in a conference title game. Are we willing to sell the farm to bring in the gunslinging Case Keenum?
The first three that you brought up, and that'd be Dak, Josh Allen, and who was the third one? Tannehill. And Tannehill was the first to go down. I think all three teams, or two of the teams, and I think the Cowboys will eventually be the third team that will look back on the time and go, I wish we'd have gotten rid of this clown sooner. The Tennessee held on to Tannehill way too long. And I think that Buffalo at some point will go in the next 3 years. It's time for this cat to go.
You know why they held on to him too long? Because other teams got better. And that's not an indictment of Tannehill. That's just other teams found ways to do it. I do want to address this question from Brian in the Brigade Bar. He says, so if they get the weapons for Dak and he doesn't get it done, what's the excuse? I don't think it's an excuse. It's just they didn't get it done. Like, it doesn't have to be. It isn't like, oh, man, Dak was this, that, whatever. It's just they didn't get it done. But this, again, people just want to, like, scream and blind rage and smash, Gallagher style, something, anything, because they're so mad. And they allow themselves to be infiltrated by this incredible, illogical line of thinking. I mean, this is a really simple thing to understand, and they see the number. No, can't pay $60 million. No, it looks like a big number, but relative to the overall kind of pie and situation, it's the exact same. So you getting upset is really only you making yourself look silly for no reason.
For the average Joe, a raise is signifying quality time spent that you spent and earned. It is a raise. It's more than he got, and I know that it's standard.
It's a raise 3%. Relative to right. It's just a raise relative to the to inflation. That's all it is. It's the same value,
but it's still a raise that you look at and go, you didn't freaking earn it. What do you mean deliver? Because we were told you were the one, and they were fixing and firing and doing, and we're no better than we were last year. And you want to raise? You're coming to me with a contract and longer?
The entitlement of this comment from Brian: 3 seasons, #1 offense, and nothing came out of it. Just another year. Do you recognize how difficult it is to be the #1 offense in the NFL ever? Let alone and you're by your own admission. This quarterback has authored the best offense in the NFL 3 years in a row. But and again, I'm not saying he's the best dude in the NFL, but to act like he's not worth paying franchise quarterback money is ridiculous. I mean, it is absurd.
We'll talk about it just after 8. $60 million a year is coming. How long will the Cowboys need to pay that, and how does it truly help? We'll get there at 8, but coming back. College football is coming to agreement. The Board of Governors gathered and unanimously decided that 5 + 7 will equal well over $1 billion. We'll talk about that next. This is the Morning Huddle, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Did you wake up this morning in pain? Is there something slowing you down in life? If there is, listen close. I want to tell you about Odyssey. Odyssey providers are all around San Antonio, and they are in business to do one thing, and that's to get you out of the kind of pain that you're living with. So if you woke up this morning with a rolled ankle that you did doing something, but you can get that fixed and you'll get better a lot faster. Having an expert take care of it. Maybe it's a strain or a sprain that you got to get over to get back in the game, or maybe it's something on a vacation that's coming, or there's some honeydews or honeydotes that you just got to get taken care of that you can't because the pain is keeping you from that. When you walk into an Odyssey provider, which is probably less than 10 minutes from where you are right now, they're going to give you a full evaluation. They're going to accept most insurances, and you never need a referral to go. So write this number down. It's 1-800-404-6050. Listen to me. The pain can go away, and the fix is easy to find. It's Odyssey. Go to their website, Odyssey.com. They got a map there of all the providers. Find one close, go see them. Call them at 1-800-404-6050. You'll find it real quick. They'll walk in. They'll take care of you. Listen to me close. Don't let pain keep you from doing things that you love. There's a fix out there. It's Odyssey. Call them today, and I know you're going to be thanking me later.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson here for Prize Picks. If you have downloaded the Prize Picks app and you're playing, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to those that think that there's something out of reach. If you want to play a game that your skill plays a role in, I want you to download Prize Picks because it's about more or less. It's not about winning and losing. Use your knowledge to pick out who is going to do the best and decide whether it's going to be more or less. A couple of clicks before you know it, you're playing the game. And it's all about the knowledge. Download Prize Picks. You'll see what I'm talking about. Basketball is in full swing. The tournament's just around the corner. There is no better way to apply your knowledge than Prize Picks. You know your guys. You know what they're capable of. Is it higher or lower? 2 or 3 clicks, more and more X's, more and more money. And if you download Prize Picks now and use the word Alamo in your promo code, there's $100 to play with. More or less, a couple of clicks, go do it. It's Prize Picks. Start playing today. Thank me later.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Urgent Camp Lejeune settlement message. On September 6th, the government announced it will soon begin providing fast, guaranteed settlements to Camp Lejeune Marines, families, and civilians. Awards will range between $100,000 and $550,000, with an option for higher amounts. If you or a loved one spent time at Camp Lejeune and suffered cancers of the bladder, liver, or kidneys, leukemia, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, Parkinson's, or kidney issues, you may qualify for compensation and could be paid within 60 days after accepting your settlement, with your VA benefits fully protected. You may be entitled to a significant financial award for your Camp Lejeune claim, but you must act now. Call the James Harris Law Camp Lejeune helpline now to get the compensation you deserve. We're already fighting for thousands harmed by the water at Camp Lejeune. Call now or you may forever lose your right to be awarded a settlement between $100,000 and $550,000. For your free evaluation, call 800-270-3388. That's 800-270-3388. 800-270-3388.
Let our team keep your home running comfortable and worry-free. Call on Mr. Electric for all your electrical needs. 210-248-2026. Or get a hold of us online at mrelectric.com and enter your zip code.
License number TECL 34221.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass. Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just text ENERGY to 200-300 for your free consultation on top-quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right. You don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Text ENERGY to 200-300 right now. Text the word ENERGY to 200-300. Don't wait. Text ENERGY to 200-300.
No amount of money can make up for a life-changing injury. I'm George Salinas, and at George Salinas Injury Lawyers, our team of attorneys will fight to get you the maximum compensation because we prepare and we care. So if you've been injured in an accident, get George. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star on your Amazon or Google smart speaker. And just say, Alexa, play 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Alexa. Hey, it's the Morning Huddle. With all the rights and duties therein, he's the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa, my co-host with the mostest. I'm Rob Thompson. I want to thank Jason Minix for sitting in, putting on his jammers and sitting in the kitchen to offer a morning huddle, the likes of which we've never had before. Thank you so much for sitting in. And by the way, you made a fantastic tri-tip for me. I've got some tickets to give away in about 30 minutes to go see the movie Shogun, the remake. It'll be out at the Casablanca tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. The tickets will give you 2 entries and 2 popcorns and 2 drinks and 1 fine movie. We'll do that in 30 minutes. So we know that the college football playoff is changing and the world will improve greatly with 12 teams headed to the playoff. Now we know the format faux show. They had to vote unanimously to agree to the 5-7 split. It could have been 6-6, could have been 4-8. We didn't know. But they went with the 5 power conferences. Now, here's the caveat. The Pac-12 will remain part of the Power 5, but not for 2 years because there's only 2 members. And in fact, it serves them better that the extra 7, if they do want to actually make the playoff, that they'll probably get in via the 7. They probably would have anyway. So in 3 years, the Pac-12 will regain its status once they add some more teams, and they will play into it. So here we sit, Notre Dame being the lone voting member of the Board of Governors or whatever it's called, that also voted unanimously, although in the end, it could shoot them in the foot. There could come a day without a conference championship that they get number 13, and Notre Dame is not represented, though they are a power conference unto themselves.
I think Notre Dame will be fine. I'm not worried for them. I don't think they're worried for them. Why do we have to call it this? This is so dumb. Is anybody going to be like, man, I can't wait for this year's 5+7? You know what I mean? No, this is just...
To acquiesce into this, though, they are getting a little bit of money. Oregon State and Washington State will each receive a full Power 5 revenue distribution, despite the fact they won't be participating, which will be between $5 and $6 million per school for being able for acquiescing and voting for this. That it didn't need to get done. I think it's the best way to possibly do this. Now it's just all over but the crying. Let's get busy. I'm ready for September 1.
Bring it on. I mean, welcome to the new world, the new frontier. We got new NCAA coming out that will probably underdeliver. We got this.
I wonder how quickly this will, because now we have this 2-year gap. A conference with 2 members that's going to probably chase at least 6 new members to come and join. So there is the opportunity for, like, I look at SMU, who's literally foregoing any money to go into the ACC. Maybe they look at this and go, you know what? We could go join a Pac-12 and sharing some money. There's a 2-year buffer here, but this will spur the last of the tectonic movements that have been the NCAA, as 6 spots now open back up for ease of entrance into the playoff by just winning their conference. We'll continue talking that, but coming back on the other side, the internet is a dumb place. And if you see something that is misrepresented or represented correctly and you take it the wrong way, you can start a small fire, but it is worthy of discussion. Jimmy is in the ring of honor, but he is in the circle of trust. Jimmy speaks, we listen. We're talking about the Cowboys and Dak Prescott, $60 million just on the other side. Hang around with us. This is the Morning Huddle, and you are on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I awoke this morning, and like every day, I washed myself clean underneath a Connecticut water-softened shower. I hope you can say the same. You know, if you got a Connecticut, you're done the right thing for living in Central and South Texas. You got the perfect water softener because it was designed in the United States and it's made to work with the hard water that we deal with down here. It makes some good sweet tea and some fine beer, but I'll tell you what, there's stuff in that water. I don't care whether you're on a well or it's coming out of the aquifer on a water system. It's going to clog your pipes. It's just a matter of time. Trust me, there's a reason why you see a whole bunch of plumbers trucks driving around San Antonio. Limestone in the water leads to some cracked pipes. It just does. How do you defend against that? A water softener of the quality of Connecticut. It'll take care of your home before the water even gets there, and you won't see that dust on your dishes. You'll feel it in your hair, and you won't feel it on your skin. That's just the beginning. You want to find out? I got an easy number for you, 656-PURE. You call that number today. You're going to have a Kinetico in your home for 90 days, and you can make that decision in 3 months. And you'll join the rest of us, just like your neighbors. You're going to become a Kinetico water softener customer for life. They say it, I believe it. Go to KineticoSA.com for all the details. Sing it while you type it. Get yourself a Kinetico in your home, and I know you're going to be thanking me later.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, the Spurs get back to work after a long all-star break. The rodeo road trip continues. Will they fare any better?
Yeah, it's possible. Speaking of the rodeo, Reinagel was there last night, a food and sticks concert review, and Dak Prescott resetting the quarterback market. That's coming up on The Blitz starting at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
No one does happy hour like Twin Peaks. Get to your local Twin Peaks Monday through Friday from 2 to 7 and score some sweet deals like $1 off all wine, liquor, and of course, cheap shots. Freezing cold 29-degree cold beer. Of course, we expect that. And you need more? How about a snack? Twin Peaks has select apps for $2, $4, and $6. And you can always come back for the late night specials. And why would you even leave for the reverse happy hour? No one does happy hour quite like Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and all those scenic views.
Well, Joel, it's my favorite time of the year. It's rodeo time, and I've got the best quarter moon marketing idea ever. It's all about branding. So I've got this. It's called a branding iron.
Folks, you don't need a branding iron to remember Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC. Quarter Moon has the expertise, local talent, and fast, reliable service.
So how does the branding iron work?
Well, are those new pants?
Yes. Why?
Turn around.
Turn around my...
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC. 210-651-5899.
License number M16004. DACLA 000743445.
QC Kinetics patient Robert Patterson, a veteran and business owner, struggled at work and in the gym with chronic agonizing shoulder pain.
Those injuries just continue to nag, and if you don't treat them, they just get worse. And I just kind of abused my body for a long time, and it finally had said enough is enough.
That's okay, because QC Kinetics tells your pain, hey, enough is enough. Their regenerative treatments bring you relief by helping restore and repair damaged tissue with no drugs, no downtime, and best of all, no surgery.
I was able to exceed the goals that I had previously attained in the gym. It was absolutely worth its weight in gold, so I could continue to live life without limitation.
Ready to get lasting relief from your joint pain? Call QC Kinetics to learn more about how natural biologic treatments can get you lasting results. Call now. It's a free consultation.
210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318.
Hello, this is Chip with Diamond J Properties. You're invited to our coastal waterfront grand opening on March 2nd, where you can get 2 acres with bay access for only $49.9. That's right, 2 acres bay access for only $49.9. This coastal waterfront community has over 4 miles of water frontage with access to the ICW, Gulf, Matagorda Bay, and much more. Property features paved roads, underground utilities, boat launch, pier, pool, cabana, and more. This property is shown by appointment only. Call now. 210-853-0389. 210-853-0389. 210-853-0389. 210-853-0389.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Around here at Wrangler, we are all excited for spring. The longer days, the warmer nights. When you've got your pick of shorts and jeans, either works just fine. Blue skies, open roads. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
When you need auto parts, O'ReillyAuto.com is just a click away. Order online and pick up at your local store. Visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Your home for the Cowboys.
Prescott all the way, runs it in for the touchdown.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville, San Antonio's Sports Center.
In the NFL, it appears that Dak Prescott is imminent to sign a brand new contract in the vicinity of $60 million a year this offseason. Dak had his best season, finishing second in MVP voting. In college football, the 5+7 playoff expansion model was unanimously approved. And in the NBA, Wemby is in the house of Louis Vuitton as he will be a product ambassador for the brand.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
How good you want to be? From play one to the last play, we fighting. Today's about opportunity and character. We got a chance to come out here and play football. It's a blessing. Hey, every season is full of defining moments. Let's make this day a defining moment for us in our quest. Let's go, baby.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here are the guys.
Hey, gather around. We got something to talk about. It's the Morning Huddle. Huddle up around RJ Ochoa. He is the managing editor of Blogging the Boys. I'm Rob Thompson, the partner in crime. I know where my car is. And on the other side of the double pane glass, that is Easy-E Edwin Hafner. And across from me, just joining us, you can't see him, but his presence is felt. The designated hitter, Private Ryan, is here, our digital hero. And he brought a wonderful-looking breakfast sandwich, but he only brought one. So I get to watch as Private Ryan over here devours a delicious QT sausage and egg. I guess it's a biscuit. Oh, it is the biscuit. And it didn't get the cheese. You got shorted on that. Wow, the QT let you down. It's karma. It's karma. Did you have your sausage pancake on a stick this morning?
I did. It was delicious. You watched me. You did, actually.
I did. I just wanted to ask the question because I have a couple in front of me. I need to go heat up. I haven't had one in a couple of days and been looking forward to it. I can't get Edwin to eat one. And if you want to see what they look like, this is special. My buns. There you go. And if you want some fine meat between your buns, get yourself a good breakfast. I saw that Joe Reinagle and Jason Minix were on TV yesterday. Like, you can put us on TV too. If you subscribe, you can just throw up us on any screen you want. We're now on an Apple podcast. You can get there. You can get there now. Wherever you follow us and watch us, you can sling it onto a TV and watch us big time, and you see this delicious breakfast that is imminent.
By the way, on the subject of watching us and the subject of eating, Ryan can provide a proper update. But if we hit a certain number, we're working on tabulating. Can you give me a tabulation sound, Rob? I was looking more for like a bleep bloop, bleep bloop, type of thing.
Blop, bleep, bleep, bing. Amplify the ping machine. Ping.
Thank you. Alpha 5 over here. If we hit a certain number of subscribers by the Friday before the golf tournament, everybody go to sasportstar.com. You can sign up. That is the tournament itself is on March 25th. So we have about a month in change to go. If we hit a certain number of subscribers, Rob and I, after our show on that day, on Monday, the 25th, we will do the Hot Ones Challenge, and we will record it, and we will throw it up as a YouTube exclusive. We need 137 subscribers.
That's a lot. I'm not sure this is going to happen.
Well, I mean, hey,
I'm just saying.
Ryan was the one who came up with the number, so you know.
No, I'm just saying because I don't think I think I'm probably going to be.
You think you're safe? Is what you're saying?
I think I'm safe, but I think if we did actually do it, I don't know if you have a palate to go as far as me, or we're about in the same boat. I think we're probably in the same boat. One of us is going to have to push the envelope.
I mean,
because I like it warm and I like it kind of hot.
Have to do the challenge.
I know, but we don't. But you're allowed to quit if it becomes overwhelming. I'm just wondering if I can make it to like 8.
No, what are you talking about? You have to finish it.
Well, I'm not going to sacrifice my innards for a couple of subscriptions. Let me tell you.
I believe only one person has quit in the history of Hot Ones. Do you know who that is? That you would put yourself?
Was it Jennifer Lawrence? Who quit?
No, she went all the way.
Yeah, but she was throwing stuff all over the place, though. But anyway,
she was just really animated. Yeah. I mean, it's a fight. You know what I mean? You got to get through it. It was DJ Khaled who was the only person.
Respect, man. Life's too short to just set yourself on fire for the amusement of others.
I'm just saying, if
Not that I wouldn't do it if we did it, but you're going to have to vote. You're going to have to subscribe to get it. I mean, you're going to have to do it. And I don't think I'm going to have to do it, to be honest with you. Wow. So, okay. I mean, and I think that's a good thing because I don't think I could make it to the end. I don't want to humiliate myself in public. There's this circular story going on. Not like I don't do that every day. And I often humiliate myself alone. You don't need to be here for me to humiliate myself. I'm just glad I could do it around you. And speaking of humiliating, I love this story because it's one long thread of the same story, but it's different. Because the $60 million to Dak, the idea of who is making these decisions, because the decision-making process to this point has been comical and stupid. And the only change to the whole program here is the addition of Jimmy Johnson inside the Ring of Honor. So as I lay this story down, this is what's gone on since Monday. Start the story, and then we'll hear from Jimmy in a second. So, RJ, tell us how we got to where we are now, and we're going to talk about Dak and his $60 million and other things as we get there.
A quick 10-second necessary sort of foundation of context is that Jimmy Johnson was held out of the Dallas Cowboys Ring of Honor for like 30 years.
If you're unaware, so, if you're just joining us and didn't know.
That was important to kind of understand, and that their relationship between he and Jerry Jones was somewhat rekindled. So in light of that, on Monday evening, the story kind of started to percolate around the internet that Jimmy Johnson had joined the Cowboys and joined the Cowboys specifically advisory board. And everybody was like, what the hell does that mean? The other verbiage, the other line that was thrown out and tossed out was that Jimmy was back in the fold with the Cowboys. So if you saw these quotes on the internet, you saw Jimmy Johnson joins the Dallas Cowboys advisory board, Jimmy Johnson back in the fold with the Dallas Cowboys. You know, you're thinking like, we're back. In fact, a lot of comment sections I saw in different places, a lot of Reddit threads, a lot of, Instagram post comments were like, oh my gosh, they're taking things seriously.
My first response was the same, RJ. I was like, we got an advisory board? That's awesome.
You were gassed up. And so maybe this just is a representation of who I am as a human being, that I'm maybe more naturally pessimistic. My gut instinct was, wait a minute, what is this? Where is this coming from? Did some digging. It really didn't require much digging. It was kind of like a sitcom where I just stuck the shovel in the ground and immediately found the buried treasure. Yeah. And so Jimmy, this all came from an appearance on 560 Sports WQAM in Miami. He was talking on the Joe Rose show about the Dolphins, et cetera, et cetera. And he clearly has a fun relationship with the host. And the host said, I haven't spoken to you since the Ring of Honor. And well, this is what Jimmy said, but more specifically, how he said what he said.
So I got to ask, I haven't talked to you since the whole thing in the Ring of Honor and Jerry Jones and that relationship, which has kind of been back and forth. It was good to see. And Jimmy, I think it's probably the first time I can ever remember a guy going in the Hall of Fame way before going to the Ring of Honor. But that's okay. But I thought you were a real pro with the whole thing, Jimmy.
Well, since the Ring of Honor, Jerry and I, man, I'm on his advisory board now. We're talking on the phone. I talked to him about an hour after his Green Bay loss, and he's talking about what all he needed to do because he's had big decisions on Mike McCarthy and Dan Quinn and Dak Prescott. But everything's hunky dory now. So I'm back in the fold with the Cowboys.
He's back in the fold, as he said, with a smile on his face. We're coming back. I want to talk about the ramifications of this because we are headed into a $60 million contract with Dak Prescott, whether you like it or not. I don't like it personally, but I do think that Jimmy played a role in one of the three things that he just talked about, whether it be Dak's contract or Mike McCarthy staying or Dan Quinn leaving. I do think that conversation about an hour after the Green Bay loss did play a role in what maybe we had hoped to be some kind of board of governors. I don't know. But let's talk about the $60 million that Dak is due coming up next. There's going to be a lot of points to say, don't do it. I'm one of those. RJ, the levelhead, explained why it needs to happen and how it's really not as big a deal as it's going to be made. Do you believe it? Well, we'll figure it out. We're talking Cowboys and ineptitude magnified by X if they do it yet again. Cowboy Talk coming. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. As as you head into a weekend like this, we're hitting early grilling season. And when you head over to Tri-County Meat Market, now's the time to go and prepare for the first major of the year, and that's Easter just a little while away. And for those of you that have given up certain things for the religious holidays, maybe you've given up red meat all week, maybe it's just on Fridays, head over to Tri-County. If you have not lived until you've tried some of the things that are not just red meat specific, if you're down with chicken, have a stuffed chicken breast that they make the size of footballs. It are fantastic, a variety of different ones. We hit them every morning. They've got them fresh and ready for you. If you haven't had one of their avocado bombs, you just ain't living right, and we can just talk about their steaks all day long. They don't got it, they'll cut it for you. You're looking for something special and extra, they got that for sure, but you know that the beef quality, it starts at prime and it works their way up. If you're looking for a giant porterhouse, they got them, and they've got these frozen meat boxes in a variety of different standards and stuff that fit everybody's different grilling game. And as you want to fill your cooler, if you want to get into the summer months with all the meat you're going to require at a significant savings, I want you to walk into either one of the Tri-Counties and talk to them about it. They got boxes to match your grilling game, to match your grilling needs, whether you're a beginner, you're an expert, you're looking for certain things, whether it's house-made or pre-cut, they've got them all with their frozen boxes. Trust me, it is worth the conversation. Don't walk out of a Tri-County without filling your bag of 5 for $25. You'll find out what I'm talking about. It is the best deal in all of San Antonio. Of course, first responders, you're getting your 10% off. That's Tri-County Meat Market, the finest meat in all of San Antonio. Head over to Hedna Road. That's one of them. And out on Ralph Fair, both of them are waiting on you. That's Tri-County Meat Market. A great meal starts with great meat from Tri-County. Head over there today, and I know you're going to thank me later.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas, with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Have you gotten your hands on Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at HEB yet? Southern Recipe small batch offers big, bold flavors like hot honey, spicy dill, and sea salt and cracked black pepper. Bonus, you're going to love the low-carb, high-protein crunch. Turn snack time from ordinary to extraordinary with flavorful pork rinds. Pick up your favorite flavors of Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at HEB today.
I have diabetes. I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I have asthma. I'm at risk too.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
This is Rob Thompson. I'm here with my brother, Jason, a practicing attorney in San Antonio for 30 years. Jason, what does that mean?
What it means is I've been representing people and families here in San Antonio injured in auto, truck, motorcycle collisions, serious injury, death accidents, taking those families and helping them through some of the worst times of their life. I've been practicing law in San Antonio for so long. I remember when the Cowboys were champions.
Seriously.
And a great staff that handles kind of the blocking and tackling of what it takes to represent clients. There are so many phone calls that need to be made, so many connections you have to have between insurance companies, physicians, opposing lawyers, relationships that you build over 30 years with adjusters, with insurance companies, with defense attorneys, with local judges. When I represent a client, they know that I'm lending my name, my reputation built on 30 years of experience to that client to get them justice.
It's Jason Thompson, alawyerforus.com. Call him at 210-900-0400, alawyerforus.com.
Hi, everybody. It's Joe Reinagle. You know, now is a great time of year to get your roof inspected and ready for our crazy spring weather, be it hot, cold, rain, or hail. Who knows what Mother Nature has in store for us this year? Call Stevens Roofing at 210-785-0994. You know, your roof protects your home and your family. A quality roof overhead means comfort, confidence, and certainly peace of mind. Now is the time to get your roof ready for spring. Call Stevens Roofing at 210-785-0994 or go to stevensroofing.net.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Hey guys, Jason Minix here from The Blitz. Do you have a lack of energy, motivation, possibly low libido? These symptoms could be caused by low T levels. At Synergenics, their medical providers exclusively specialize in customized testosterone treatment, and they make it quick and easy to get your levels checked. And at Synergenics, you get your results back at your first visit. Book your appointment now. Go to fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com. Good morning, everybody. Jason Minix here from The Blitz, coming up at 2 o'clock today. Obviously, we're talking Spurs. Dak Prescott resetting the quarterback market, which I know is a topic that you certainly love, RJ Ochoa. Are you writing him a check for $60 million per?
It's inevitable, it appears. Jason Minix and Joe will be talking about it today at 2 o'clock. The Blitz gets busy. This is the Morning Huddle. He's RJ. I'm Rob. Thanks for joining us. I am slowly joining the ranks of chaos. I'm a nihilist. I believe in nothing. I'm about to get to the point, as I looked up and saw a quote on my TV screen just a second ago. Emmitt Smith saying, "I'm tired of being told what the Cowboys could be. I'm tired of being told if we do this, we do that, we could be this." I'm all about now bathwater and baby, nose despite a face, a variety of other analogies. I'm ready to just throw it all out and start over, because the last 8 years have been an exercise in futility. And that's the chapter I think we're closing, an 8-year chapter, the Dak Prescott chapter.
Are you a Family Guy fan, Rob?
I am, to the extent that I like the quotes. I've never watched an entire episode, but I don't see any reason why I wouldn't. I just don't know where they are.
I'm not going to disagree with that, but I will say I find it impossible to believe that you've never been somewhere where it was at least on in the background for the run of an entire
No, you're right. I've seen it. I know enough. Yeah.
There's a very, very, very famous scene from Family Guy about a mystery box. Peter Griffin, who you're well aware is the main character of the show, there's a discussion about a boat and trading in a boat for a mystery box. And he says, a boat's a boat, but the mystery box could be anything. It could even be a boat. So you're saying you're tired of being told what the Dallas Cowboys could be. You're tired of being told that the franchise quarterback could be this. He is very good. You could, and I don't mean you specifically. I mean all of you, morning huddlers, our morning cuddlers.
I love you, Dak.
He is. You can admit this, okay? And even if you say I don't want to pay him, it's okay. No one's gonna get mad if you admit he's a very good quarterback.
But when we come back, we owe you a break, right, Edwin? I want to make sure we keep this on because I think we got a few because I want to talk about this because I do think Dak. The conversation about Dak is twofold for me because what he is due isn't outrageous, although in my mind for a third of it would have been outrageous. But in the market, what he's due and what he's going to get isn't outrageous. And you made a valid point. The percentage of what he's going to get is even less outrageous. It's just the cost of doing business and the expansion of the product. There's just more money, but he's getting the same percentage he ever got.
It's inflation. That's all this is. You know what I mean? If you time traveled back to 1960 and told somebody what your mortgage was, they'd say, "What?"
Right.
They'd say, "I'm never leaving this house." You know what I mean? Like, it's just inflation. That's all this is. But people act like because it's this big number that it's this big scary thing. It's the same number. And the sooner you do it, the smaller it is. That's the hurdle that I try to drag people over,
right?
And like we're in basic training. Like get over this. Come on, I'm pushing you over. As soon as you break through this mental block, you can kind of understand the way this whole thing works.
But some of it because it has been so inept. Because Jerry and Steven have handled Dak Prescott's process from the moment that he became the starting quarterback to now, the way they just chose to push down the road paying him until they were held it and they had to, and now they're back at it, that you get the sense that there's some kind of acquiescence like, oh, well, we got to do it now because we screwed this whole thing up. When there's still an out. There's still an avenue to escape the Dak paradigm or paradox of, yeah, the regular season is great, but at some point I'd like to see some success in January. And given what they have to do to get to January, you don't want to get rid of Dak, but at the same time, you're going to kick me in the teeth next January again. What's the point? I've seen enough regular season, MVP records. That doesn't mean anything to me. That doesn't feed the bulldog. And maybe just ripping the Band-Aid off and suffering for a little while might right Jerry and Steven their perspective and give us a little bit of breakaway from what has been, by the definition, insanity.
You are so massively discounting the body of work and just throwing the term regular season over it. I mean, I'm not diminishing the value of a playoff game, and I'm not saying it's not the most important thing, but Dak Prescott played in 18 games for the Cowboys this past season, and he was exemplary in 17 of them. And you're just like, he sucks.
Well, it's not that he sucks. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is
that's the side of the fence that you're venturing towards. You're going to hang out with these people. You're like, oh, we're just getting coffee, RJ. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not signing anything. Don't worry. But I mean, that's what this becomes about. And again, not that the regular season trumps the playoffs, because that's the ultimate goal here and what's involved. But they've been the number one offense 3 years in a row. He finished second in MVP voting. I mean, if Justin Herbert did this, I mean, they would actually throw him a parade with the Chargers. And some of this is just the Cowboys, but this is all the result of how the Cowboys have done this. The way that the Cowboys have set this up to where their own fan base is divided against their highly successful quarterback. That's the way they want. Is anybody sitting here and mad at the Cowboys for getting to this point? No. People are mad. How can Dak take all this money? Dak should take less. Dak should do this. Dak, blah, blah, blah. Why do the sins of the organization fall on the quarterback and not the organization itself?
Well, it has fallen on him because it's cost him X amount of dollars more than it should have. I mean, I don't know how much more he's paid Dak. We could probably check the timeline and say, if he'd have signed him when he should have the first time, he'd have signed him for $20 million less over the life of his contract. I think if he'd have signed Dak last year, you've already said there would have been at least about $8 million less a year if he'd have just
Jalen
jumped
Hurts got his
in.
deal a year ago, he was $51 million a year. The Cowboys had every same ability to get Dak extended at the exact same time. So and did they? No,
but just because the regular season thing is a difficult question, because I remember back the last time the Spurs were worth a crap back in 2015-16, that there was the They had the opportunity at the end of the season to go 41-0 at home. They could have just put out a little bit of effort in that last home game and put together a record that you go, wow, that's never going to be beaten. But they chose to, we're going to save our legs and we're going to charge them the playoffs. And they ended up losing. They didn't even get the title. And the one thing they could have gotten, a regular season thing that you could have hung your hat on, you go, well, that's the only time the regular season has ever mattered to me as Spurs fan since 1999. After that, it didn't matter. All I wanted was the ring. But in 2015-16, you go, this matters. Everything.
I think these are very different examples.
Well, no, what I'm trying to get at is if you hang your hat on the regular season and say, well, it does matter, you get lost in the muck of, well, I had 17 great games. I only had one bad one.
I'm not hanging my hat on the regular season mattering. What I'm saying is, in the last 5 years, if you look at this 3-year run, as was mentioned in the comment earlier, in this 3-year run, the Cowboys have been the number one offense in the NFL. Dak has been the author of that. They have more wins than anybody in the regular season than the Kansas City Chiefs. Keep in mind, the Chiefs have 2 Super Bowl wins in that exact same time span. They are the most successful offense in most advanced metrics. I mean, so to act like that, again, I'm not hanging my hat on the regular season, but the extreme that you're living on is get rid of it. It's done. It's stupid. It's not working because we're not the Chiefs. Like, do you recognize how drastic and dramatic of a leap that is? It's not even throwing the baby out with the bathwater. It's throwing the baby out with the smelly diaper.
You're right. It is all of that. But I understand maybe 5 years ago, it wasn't possible to do what we're talking about. But I think Rob, given the salary cap and the availability of free agency and drafting, that I could probably rebuild this team pretty quick if I had an extra $60 million a year.
What are the availability? Like, think about the last few quarterbacks have been drafted. You mentioned the draft. In 2021, the quarterback class was heralded in this exact same sort of time span. In 2021, Trevor Lawrence is going to come in. Trevor Lawrence has a single playoff win. And after falling down massively, by the way, and it took a huge collapse by the Chargers to get that win, and they dramatically underwhelmed last season. Zach Wilson, huge bust. Trey Lance, now on the Dallas Cowboys. After even one of the best rosters in the NFL couldn't support him. In 2022, I mean, did anybody light the world on fire? No. I mean, this year, did any of the rookies light the world on fire? I mean, no. I mean, we also overlooked. So, like, no, but it's more than just being valid. You're saying, oh, I can fix this in the draft. I can fix this in free agency. And this isn't even a matter of like, oh, because you can't find an easy solution, you should just stick with what you have. My point is, like, Dak is maybe the 5th, 6th best quarterback in the NFL, and you're so mad that he's not number one. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be mad, but you shouldn't dismiss him entirely and act like he's trash because he's 5 or 6.
Well, I'm also saying that this regular season success wasn't only due to him. And maybe if it was a different quarterback, we might not see a first in offense Dallas Cowboy team. We might see a 6th in offense, but we might see a better outcome from the individual plays that Dak just seems to fail at. We might not get the regular season.
He's alone in that, though. Micah failed.
You're right, but
all the same talent you're talking about.
But I would much
failed.
rather fail paying Baker Mayfield $35 million a year than paying Dak Prescott $60 million a year and getting the same outcome.
Like, you're not saving the money yourself.
Not me, but I would like to see maybe Tyler get paid a little bit more. Maybe the money goes to Biotish. Maybe we outbid somebody for Saquon or something crazy like a Devonta Adams
and the Cowboys right now. That's effectively what you said. Would you rather be a Buccaneers fan over a Cowboys fan right now, entering 2024?
As far as talent on the team, it's Cowboys far and away. Yeah, but I do say that, I'm talented enough that I could shed a Dak Prescott and still be moderately successful with maybe a little bit lesser talent and still have the ability to continue to improve my team. I don't need to have a Dak Prescott. I don't need to have the number one offense during the regular season. I've seen it. It hadn't gotten me anything. So I paid a little bit less, and I augmented the running game. I paid my right and left tackle a little bit more because instead of 60, I'm paying 35. Suddenly things get a little bit easier as I rebound off this.
There's an overwhelming amount of data and evidence that is freely accessible on the internet that we talk about here every day, all right, that again overwhelmingly proves in an objectively based sense that Dak Prescott is among the very best quarterbacks in the NFL. but because people want to speak in platitudes and extravagant, statements with exclamation points in all caps, like Julian Martinez here in the chat. No way Dak is a top 5th or 6th quarterback in the NFL. No way. Julian, I hate to break it to you, man. I'm sure it upsets you and pisses you off, but by literally every measurable statistic and point of reference, he is. You can scream it, you can say it, you can text it, you can Facebook meme it all you want. It does not change the undeniable, undisputable fact of it all. And I'm sorry that for whatever reason, this is something you and whoever else feel the need to obsess about with all of your energy in this world. But the realities of the situation are he is that good. And when you are that good, it is extraordinarily normal to be paid market rate. That's all this is. The $60 million figure happens to be market rate. But, ooh, big number, scary thing, I will scream. That's where we're at on all this. It doesn't have to be this pedantic. I'm sorry, people. It can be very normal and simplistic if you just open your eyes.
But I am pedantic, as our mini Cowboy fan. Fix it. Fix it now. We're tired. I want an advancement on this board of governors thing. What's it called? What's Jimmy's new position?
Advisory board.
I want to be on the advisory board.
You're what's her name? Violet in Willy Wonka, the blueberry.
Oh yeah,
that's who y'all are. That's actually no.
I want to Oompa Loompa now.
No, you are. I was wrong. You're the entitled, the girl who fell down the laundry chute, the golden egg girl. That's who y'all are.
I believe. And I would equate Dak to an Oompa Loompa. I think they follow in the same manner. What do you think? 656-3776. This is a valid argument. Is this enough?
It's not a valid argument.
I think it's a valid argument because I can see merit on both sides.
I'm saying, Rob, gravity is 9.81 meters per second squared. And you're saying it feels different. It should be 10. I don't like it. Round it up. That's the effectiveness
some of us
what
have greater mass than others.
Wow.
There's nothing like a good physics joke to close out a segment. By the way, have you seen Oppenheimer?
Yeah,
I got to see it for the very first time, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Hold out to the last scene. It sums up the movie precisely. As the Cowboys try to find some answers, the Texans might be in the perfect place. Are they indeed set up for the free agency? Are they the darlings? Is it time to capitalize? 49ers couldn't on that rookie deal. Will the Texans get a chance? Let's look southeast where the Texans stand. It's a lot prettier where the Cowboys are. That's next. You are on the Morning Huddle. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It's been about 7.5 years ago that I walked into the Institute for Functional Health and met Dr. Jacob Torres. And, when you look back on pictures, and I've had the chance over the last couple of days, kind of reflect on history and looking at some old family pictures, man, oh man, have I lost some weight. I look so different now than I did. And, back then I didn't realize how bad I had it. You think that your life is just about being sick and tired and overweight, that there's nothing ever going to change it. You can try a diet and it won't work. And eventually you just kind of give up. I was there until I met Dr. Torres, and he convinced me, look, with a little bit of effort and a little bit of knowledge and a program that's put together for you with your history in mind, you'll be surprised at the success you'll have. That's where the Institute of Functional Health makes things different. Dr. Torres sets the table, for lack of a better term. He marks the path, gives you the plan, and you go to work, and I'll be darned, it works. And it works quicker than you'd think. And once you start losing the weight, you start seeing and feeling all the benefits from it. That far down now, down nearly 80 pounds. I'm still on a journey. It's never going to stop, but losing weight is not the thing anymore. It's a way I feel. And that's when the benefits start to roll in. Call Dr. Torres today. Find out what I know. First, go to the website. It's iffhealth.com. Do your due diligence. Do the reading. But then call Dr. Torres. Get to know him. Go by the office. The number's 210-468-1891. Let him explain to you why he has been so successful with so many. He'll change your life. Call Dr. Torres in the IFF today. Make the decision. Jump on the plan. And before you know it, you're going to be on a weight loss program that you will indeed want to thank me later for.
If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
Wade Phillips joining us here in studio on the Blitz.
But, a lot of Cowboy fans like to blame Jerry Jones for the problems because he is the GM. Is he a football guy? Does he know a lot of football?
Oh, yeah. No, he played football. He played on a winning team. He's been the general manager the whole time. And look at how much success they've had. And we're mad at him for losing 12 games every year, but because they lost the playoff game. But no, he's into football.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149. There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Dave Ramsey here from my friends over at Connecticut in San Antonio. Trust me, Connecticut water systems are the best of the best. I personally have one in my home. All those other water softener systems out there are junk in comparison. Connecticut uses less water and runs on kinetic energy. So there's no computer to break, fewer moving parts, and it works only when you need it. It was even voted most efficient water softener in the world by the Water Quality Association. The team at Connecticut San Antonio can test your water, install a system, and provide treatment all without stepping a foot inside your home.
I'm Chris Canepa of Connecticut and San Antonio in the Hill Country. I'll let you try a Connecticut quality water softener for 90 days absolutely free. Call us at 656-PURE, that's 656-7873, or visit us on ConnecticutSA.com.
And tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
Call 656-PURE, Connecticut.
At Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf, there's something that binds us all. The collective goal to transcend the ordinary. Introducing the Ping G430 Max 10K driver. Straighter flies farther with Ping's most forgiving driver ever made. The Max 10K. Come in today and test drive Ping's newest driver at Edwin Watts Golf Shops. Visit us at your local Edwin Watts Golf Shops or shop us online at worldwidegolf.com. Get there.
Working from home, you realize you don't have enough outlets or USB ports. Hill Electric can fix that for you. For over 3 decades, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio homes and businesses. From adding an outlet, fixing that fuse that always blows, or that flickering light, Hill Electric has the right service at the right price, and there is never a service charge and always free estimates. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. That's 404-9074. Or go to hill-electric.com.
Did you know some ordinary cold medicines can raise your blood pressure? That's alarming. Fortunately, there's Vicks DayQuil High Blood Pressure. It's specially formulated without alcohol, sugar, or decongestants to provide fast, powerful cold and flu symptom relief for people with high blood pressure. So if you have high blood pressure, try DayQuil High Blood Pressure, the daytime coughing, aching, fever, sore throat, colds, and flu for people with high blood pressure medicine. Use as directed and keep out of reach of children.
Around here at Wrangler, we are all excited for spring. The longer days, the warmer nights. When you've got your pick of shorts and jeans, either works just fine. Blue skies, open roads. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
1 in 4 car batteries is weak and needs to be replaced. Let our professional parts people test your battery for free at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hey, good morning to you. You made it. It's the hump day edition of the Morning Huddle. 2 more wake-ups and we hit the weekend, charging full speed into basketball season or free agent season. I saw a list floating around. You know, you're going to have your mock draft 1.10s, but then the list of all the free agents said, oh, to be a team with a good quarterback that is woefully underpaid. And that's where the Texans sit as C.J. Stroud charges into several years of the Brock Purdy open envelope of availability without cost. The Texans are in good shape, man. So when you look at where the Texans are, what would you say would be their first and foremost need? Because there's a lot of whatever they want out there. And then I want to start talking about the rest of the free agents.
I think if you're the Texans, everything needs to be about amplifying your amazing quarterback, C.J. Stroud. So we have seen a lot of teams early in the rookie contracts of their quarterbacks go out and get a dynamic playmaking wide receiver. I'm a big Tank Dell fan, big Nico Collins fan, but more. Like, you want more. Like, this is maybe, are you the team that goes and gets Mike Evans? Are you the team that, I don't know, maybe bring DeAndre Hopkins back? I mean, those are even kind of past what I'm talking about. I'm talking, maybe you manage to finagle a trade for, you have a little bit of draft capital to work with for Justin Jefferson.
Mhm.
That's the dream. Maybe you're the team that signs T. Higgins, but these are the teams with the most salary cap space in the NFL, going from most to least. We're not going to go
I'm
Commanders.
seeing. Oh, the Commanders have the most. Okay.
Horrible team. Patriots, horrible team. Bears, horrible team. Titans, horrible team. Bengals, obviously coming off of the injury, so they're in an interesting spot, but have a lot of contracts that take care of themselves. Colts, interesting spot, but not as good as the Texans. And then the Texans, they're a playoff team. The Texans are not only a playoff team, but coming off of a playoff win. And we're a very, very, very talented team. And they have the, 7th most salary cap space in the NFL. I mean, and the Lions are right behind them. So, obviously, it is what it is. By the way, LPJ Salazar says in the chat, give CJ $60 million a year. I promise you, by the time CJ Stroud's eligible for a contract extension, it will be 70.
Yeah.
We will be there by that point in time.
The Giants, I'm saying, aren't going to use the franchise tag. Should they spend money on a running back?
The Giants?
I mean, no, the Texans. Is that a place where you'd go?
Oh, yeah, that's like you got the money to burn, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is surplus time. This is, we want the copy machine or the extra chairs for the office. So you can go out and you can pay T. Higgins. If you want to bring in Derrick Henry or Saquon or whatever, yes, soup it up. Like, soup up the offense. Get everything more. You play in a division that is in the middle of a transition, we don't know what Anthony Richardson and the Colts are going to look like in year 2. Obviously, the Titans are really down bad. The Jaguars really collapsed last year. This is your time. Like, this is your time to spend money and to completely and totally go for it.
Given the offense's quality, I'm starting to see Devontae Adams float around. Is it worth spending some money for a wide receiver there?
Well, you'd have to trade for him. And so that's why I'm saying, like, maybe you feel like, would we rather just pay for T. Higgins and Mike Evans and not give up any draft capital? Or would we rather give up draft capital? Because they already gave up the draft capital in the trade with the Cardinals to go get Will Anderson, and that was totally worth it. But, I don't know that you want to give up more draft capital, because before you know it, you're going to blink, and all these this ability to go out and spend in free agency that you have right now is going to dissipate, because it is going to be time to give CJ Stroud $70 million a year, whatever it is, in 2 years' time. And at that point, you're going to have to rely on the cheap labor of your draft process. And so you don't want to compromise all the assets that you're going to have to be able to bring in some lower money contracted players.
I would like to be a Texan fan today. That's all I'm saying.
You wouldn't trade lies if you could. You would.
I'd trade futures.
I mean, I don't think you would.
I think that as we see what the Cowboys are doing shake out, that my anger is only going to increase over this offseason, because they are going to pay Dak, but I don't think they're going to do it the right way. And I think the Texans are going to do it the right way and slowly. And I think that LeBron James might be in a Spurs uniform before we know it. Let's talk some LeBron James. He doesn't want to go on a retirement tour.
That was quite the turn that we
took.
He
doesn't want to go on a retirement tour, but he wants to play on a contender. I don't see how you can do either or, given the situation they're in. Let's look around the NBA as we charge toward the end of the regular season. We're over halfway done. Doc makes excuses. Is it time for Boston to charge through? And what about those Nuggets? We're going to look around the NFL, NBA as we head there. My first question when we look at the league, right now as the playoffs sit, it looks like a play-in could happen between the Lakers and Golden State. And that kind of fits one narrative where I feel like the NBA is ready to move on. It's time for new blood, new champions, new stars, as we saw over the holiday, over the All-Star weekend. But at the same time, the NBA isn't ready to say goodbye. And if the best thing that we've got coming up in this playoff is a play-in game where one of these cats is done, I think it spells the end to their time. Golden State ain't doing anything. Steph's going to be a Warrior till he's done. But if the Lakers lose, it's over. This iteration of the Lakers are done.
I mean, duh. They're already done. I don't know. Like, you've got to squint really hard, I think, to see a way where the Lakers make serious noise this season or this postseason, right? Like, I mean, of all like teams you can kind of talk yourself into, right? Like the Generals, Boston, super easy. Cleveland, you could totally see. Milwaukee, you could absolutely see. The Knicks, you could see, right? Like you could totally see like Brunson leading them. Philly, now we're getting a little bit more difficult. And I don't, the Pacers thing, neither of us has really kind of been in on. Minnesota, can you really see? Like, is that,
No.
Like, no, exactly. Denver, obviously, can't count out. The Thunder, even that feels just too, Phoenix, again, if KD went supernova, potentially. But my point is, you got to like really, well, maybe if this, that, whatever. Like, it's really, really, really difficult to conceive how the Lakers could be, involved here.
As the season winds down with the regular season really starting to matter, injuries are going to start playing a role. We're chasing Dr. Jason Garrett as we look very closely as the Spurs get going. You get the sense that the manacles and the are going to be lifted off Wemby as we charge into the second half. I'd like to welcome on for his regular stop off Dr. Jason Garrett of Odyssey. How you doing this morning, Doc?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Well, here we sit after a bloviated All-Star weekend, and as we start this second half of the season, we saw Wemby's minutes slowly start to expand and, the lifting of all of that. Do you expect to see, as we close this season down, kind of an unfettered Wemby, or are they going to continue monitoring just a few more minutes per game?
I mean, if they weren't the third worst team in the NBA right now, statistically, then I would say they'd probably play him a lot more. But why risk it? Just get him in there, get some good quality minutes, see what the future holds. He's going to be Rookie of the Year. There's pretty much no chance he's not. So I don't think they push him any more minutes or play him any harder with the risk of him getting injured. He is, 7 foot 5, 6, however tall the guy is, 3. He's a unicorn. He plays hard. He's a high jumper. He's a huge injury risk. So I think it's probably smarter just to do their best to keep him healthy this year and then have a better season next year.
Doc, I have a question on kind of general size. Like, what is that like? I mean, when you have to work on a patient that is significantly larger or longer, whatever, is it just a matter of extrapolating the math, or I mean, because I think that's how I would approach it, but I obviously am not a doctor.
Yeah, I mean, it's a number of things. So vertical load's a big deal, right? So not only the weight of the athlete, but the vertical load on the bone structure and the joint. Wemby is very, very slight. He's a small frame with a high vertical load. So it puts a lot more vertical stress on the knees, on the ankles, on the low back. Now, fortunately, he is a unicorn. He's unbelievably flexible. They've done a great job his entire life getting him to do the splits, getting him to where he's more injury resilient, which is great. But as he develops and matures and his joints start stiffening up a little bit, starts putting on a little more muscle mass, he's going to have to maintain that flexibility. He's got to keep his hydration really high. As a provider looking at him, you're just constantly evaluating, is that knee moving well? Is the hip moving well? Looking for anything that could become a future issue that can cause a tendinopathy, patellar tendonitis, Achilles issue, whatever it is. You're trying to stay way ahead of that with a guy like that.
On a different side of the coin, Tyron Smith of the Dallas Cowboys evidently is set to or wants to return to play yet another year. He's 33. We know that the injury history is there. While we try to keep Wemby healthy, what can you do for a 33-year-old to kind of guarantee or at least try to offer, maybe we get 12 games out of the guy? I mean, when you look at a guy like Tyron, what's the preventative measures you do now to say, I'll be comfortable with you coming back and maybe won't be as injured as you have in the past several years?
I mean, right now in the offseason, I would get him on as much of the stem cells as you possibly can. They're not illegal. They're not performance enhancing. There's plenty of research now. They're pretty expensive. I mean, you're looking at $25,000, $30,000. But if you're an athlete like that can afford it, the Cowboys or anybody else can afford it, I would be loading up on that and then doing heavy, low rep weightlifting. So get his back, his legs, his knees incredibly resilient and strong. Not the high velocity stuff, not the high volume stuff, but more heavyweight, low rep. Build up his injury resilience. Start with I wouldn't get him doing a lot of sprint type workouts or cutting and running because that's just going to increase the inflammation in the areas that he's already got. So just get him super strong. He's not a sprinter, not a fast athlete. He's a power athlete. I think with a guy like that, you could probably get another 3, 4, 5 years out of him.
Doc, obviously we're coming off the All-Star break starting tomorrow. And I've always thought, relative to leagues that have their All-Star breaks or All-Star weekends in the middle of a season like this, it has to throw your body a little bit out of whack to go from, back to back to back to back, so to speak, and then have a week off generally. I mean, is there risk in that, in kind of revving the engine back up after it's cooled off for just a little bit?
Now, you can actually go up to 2 weeks and really have no issues with conditioning or strength. I think the bigger issue there is they were probably partying a little bit, maybe drinking a little bit. That might have thrown out their schedule. So sleep's off, recovery's down. That's a bigger issue than the time off from the high intensity activity. I think hopefully most of those guys are premature. They've grown, they've learned that, from the LeBrons and the Kobes, you just can't do that anymore. But the earlier generation, Jordan's generation, I mean, he drank every night, he smoked, he played cards, he played golf during the day, he drank before a game. So hopefully they're not doing that.
Dr. Garrett, I got a question about PEDs. And Jimmy Garoppolo was suspended for 2 games to start the season for PED use. They didn't really get into what it was, but when you hear PEDs, you think roids. What he had to, when you get popped for that, you get caught for no therapeutic use justified with the league. And was this about as minor as it can get for a PED thing? And what do you think he was taking?
Well, it was only 2 games. It probably wasn't steroids. It wasn't anabolic stuff. It was probably more recovery type things. So right now there's peptides that help you recover faster. They don't make you perform better. They don't make you grow muscle faster, but they do help you recover from injuries quite a bit faster. And right now, technically, those are banned substances. I think in the future they probably won't be because they aren't harmful. They're not addictive. They don't give you a physical advantage other than helping you heal back to normal, which kind of isn't really an advantage. That's just getting you back to where you should be. There's probably something along those lines. There's lots of them out there. There's also things called SARMs, which are steroid-like, but they're not steroids. They've got their own issues. They're considered a chemical that's experimental, not for human consumption, but they're sold online all over the place. You can get them pretty easily. There's all those out there, and they definitely do improve performance enhancement. They make you stronger, faster, better endurance, but they may also give you cancer and kill you eventually, so you don't want to be taking those and promoting those for the younger generation.
Well, that, maybe some CTE, you never know. We're worried about tomorrow. He is Dr. Jason Garrett. If you want to get better today, you call Odyssey, because you don't want to let pain keep you from doing things that you love, and we don't want to miss out on Jason Garrett stopping by every week. Hey, Doc, it's always a pleasure catching up with you. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, thanks, guys.
Dr. Jason Garrett of Odyssey. Hey, coming back, we're going to ease your pain in a lot of different ways. The Spurs are getting busy going up to Sacramento to start the second half of that rodeo road trip. But on the other side, we're coming back looking exactly at what they're going to do. Do we have any better expectations? Experience tells us our expectations should be low. The Spurs head into the second half of the season that we're talking about next. Oh, by the way, Dak's going to get $60 million. Your thoughts? We'll talk about that also about 8 or 9:15. Hold on. The morning huddle continues, but it won't be any fun unless you're with us. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
When something happens to your car, you might say, but what you really need to say is something that can actually help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
And just like that, State Farm is there to help you file your claim right on the State Farm mobile app. So just remember, good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
When you're rolling Charmin, ultra soft on the potty. Let's just so roll it back, everybody. Charmin's irresistibly soft and hella nice. Our crib is always stocked. It's our party vibe. It's special things so our chicks feel fly. So everybody wanna touch the sky.
Charmin Ultra Soft is irresistibly soft and more absorbent, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Hey, it's Rob Thompson here for SA Card House. Over there on San Pedro, you know where it is, 13400 San Pedro right there at Bitters. One of my favorite places to go for a lot of reasons. It's not just about the restaurant and the bar, which is a reason to be. It's not just about the atmosphere and the great games and all the prizes that go along with being a San Antonio Card House member. It's a vibe. It's a thing that you get. Whether you're a brand new player, they have brand new classes for you to get you interested in playing
playing to teach you how to play the game. They got great membership rates. They've got food to serve at great atmosphere while you're playing, or if you just bring your friends and family to play. But it's an atmosphere of success and fun, and that's why I go to SA Card House, and that's why you need to give them a try. Go check out their website, sacardhouse.com, but you're not going to know until you go. It's a private social club waiting for you to come and play. It's at Bitters in San Pedro. It is my SA Card House. Head there today. Thank me later.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-5407. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-5407. That's 800-575-5407. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Sick and tired of achy joints? Dread the idea of surgery? You need to call QC Kinetics today. Hey, it's James Spudger with San Antonio Sports Star. Listen, the state of healthcare is always changing. The old ideas like steroids and surgery are no longer your only options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative and non-surgical drug-free treatments that deliver lasting results. Knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain, pain from arthritis or injury. Don't let this pain keep you from living your best life. QC Kinetics' advanced state-of-the-art treatments harness and direct your body's natural ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. This is a revolutionary approach that can get you long-term relief with no downtime. Make 2024 the year you reclaim your mobility, reclaim your independence, walk, run, play, and live without the danger and trauma of surgery and without harmful drugs. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
The way the NBA season is going in San Antonio, you need to find a way to add excitement to watching those games. Jason Minix here from The Blitz. The way to do that is by playing at Underdog Fantasy. Go download the Underdog Fantasy app and start playing the Pick'em game, where you pick between 2 and 5 players from at least 2 different teams. Select whether they will be higher or lower on stats, and if your picks hit, you can win up to 100 times your money. It is fantasy, but legal in Texas. So download the Underdog Fantasy app or go to UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up, use my promo code STAR, and Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. Plus, they'll give you a mystery special pick to use on your first Pick'em entry. Must be over 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Again, promo code STAR at UnderdogFantasy.com.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
Head of the field and throws it down with a right hand.
Your home for the NBA. San Antonio's Sports Center.
In college sports, the college football playoff has been unanimously agreed upon to be a 5-7 playoff structure. 5 Power 5 conference champions, 7 at large should make up the playoffs. The Pac-12 had to agree to that. In college hoops, the Aggies lose to Arkansas 78-71, and Tech comes back from 10 down to beat TCU 82-81.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
How good do you want to be? From play 1 to the last play, we fighting. Today's about opportunity and character. We got a chance to come out here and play football. It's a blessing. Hey, every season is full of defining moments. Let's make this day a defining moment for us in our quest. Let's go, baby.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here are the guys.
Here we are. Welcome to the Morning Huddle. We're glad you're here. Gather up on us. We got stuff to talk about. He's RJ Ochoa. I am Rob Thompson. Easy E driving this boat all the way till 10 o'clock. If you missed anything previous, set an alarm. Get your ass up. But you can go back in reverse time. Go to sasportstar.com. There, you can go to what we call the audio vault, thanks to the good folks at AA Best Bail Bonds, and you can catch up on everything we might have done. If you haven't already subscribed to our show, shame on you. But if you go ahead and click that like and put a thumb on it and be part of the noties, you too will be involved in the opportunity to win a pair of tickets that I'm going to give away in just 15 minutes to go see Shogun at the Casablanca tomorrow night. It's on us. Take a date. We'll even make sure you get some popcorn and a Coke and enjoy a fine movie on us just for being a morning huddler or cuddler, depending on your time or preference. You ready to do this, RJ? You carbo loaded, ready for an hour of hard charging sports talk radio?
I have a green juice ready. You want me to tell you?
Oh gosh, do you drink that stuff? Is that what that is?
Maintain my body. This Greek godlike physique of mine.
That's what that green stuff is. What's the number one ingredient on the green stuff?
Well, some are bigger fonts, so I really don't know what's
first in order
prominent.
is the most of it. The first in order. First thing you read is the most of that.
Cucumber. You want me to go down the list?
All right, so we've rocketed out of the gate with a lot of cucumber.
Cucumber, celery.
Can you taste the celery?
I can definitely taste the cucumber. Celery, spinach, apple.
Oh.
Spirulina.
Spirulina. That makes you poop.
Ginger.
That
and
helps.
Lemon. Lemon just for a splash.
Just a little bit of flavor in there. No, there's no like lawn clippings, no St. Augustine, no Buffalo Zoysia, nothing.
No
leaf, no oak leaf.
It's good. It's look, if you could have this or what's your tea?
Oh, Red Diamond sweet tea, which of course I now
Arizona.
bring to work in a canister of my choosing.
That's what I'm saying. If you could have one or the other, I mean, what choice are you making?
I am. It ain't gonna be green. I can tell you that. It would be the Red Diamond sweet tea, which is a proof that God loves us. I don't even know how to begin this segment because I'm trying to put lipstick on a pig, but the Spurs do get busy again tomorrow night.
Oh.
I'm going to look to the future, and I would have laughed wholeheartedly at this, but now I'm starting to get on board because our time frames were very different. I think at the beginning of the year, the Spurs were looking further down the road than I was, and I'd laughed, I giggled, I scoffed at LeBron James ever being a San Antonio Spur. That it would, why? What's the point? We got places to go. We got things to do. LeBron, you would be added weight to a wagon that's probably pretty full by the time you would arrive. But as we sit today, I would happily invite LeBron over. Come spend a year, baby. Because if this whole thing is about getting Wemby ready, then let's do it the right way. Let's let the torch be officially passed by the dude on your team. We ain't winning anything anytime soon, so let's go get LeBron. Maybe he'll bring Bronny too.
I agree with you. However, we might be coming from different perspectives. So, or maybe we might be coming from the same one. I'm at a place now. I'm a little bit down bad, a little bit with the Spurs.
Yeah.
All right, and just entertain me right now. The bar is so low that if you bring LeBron and it's entertaining, okay.
Okay, now I want you to stop you right there. If I was the type that subterfuge that believed in higher powers and puppetry and things going on behind the scenes, I would say the Spurs are playing their deck perfectly to go get LeBron, to get one more piece to aid in the development of the guy that will be taking the mantle. It feels like that's the plan, not like it was starting in November. You know how we could screw this up? First thing we're doing, we'll move Sohan to point guard. That'll lose us 20 games right there. And the next thing, we can hope for some injuries, and that'll lose us some more. And then to end the season, as we charge toward free agency and the draft, we'll have another excuse to lose. And then we'll go get LeBron. We'll bring the sun in, and it'll give us a little bit of cover for that extra year minimum that fans thought we weren't going to have to worry about once we got Wemby, that now we do. At least LeBron will be here. Feels real to me.
I mean, what other destination is more real for LeBron right now? Like I know that we're talking about the Spurs, but like I think that's relative, or it's certainly relevant. You know, what destination makes more sense for him next season than the Spurs? Again, assuming Bronny is a part of the whole overall picture.
Because
maybe Orlando,
not even Orlando, because there you don't have Pop. And I think Pop is.
You got
Well, you don't have Wemby, but you do have I mean, if LeBron is about chasing more wins and at the same time monitoring his son's growth into the league, Spurs would be perfect, because we even heard over the weekend as Wemby reflected on what it's like being a Spur and how much he appreciates and loves the way that the Spurs have handled the beginning of this season. He spoke glowingly. I mean, he's gotten everything he wanted, with just a little bit of a tough love attached to it. I think if I'm LeBron and I want to grow my son in the league, there's no better place. You land in San Antonio, you have zero expectations of Bronny. You got Daddy in front and Wemby in front of him. It's the best place for his son. He does actually play a position that we might kind of actually use. I'm not against this whole chasing of LeBron, and I'm even willing to buy a jersey. I'll even buy one. I don't know which number jersey we would want him to wear. The Cleveland? Miami? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want LeBron showing up and wearing. No, I want 23.
You want 23? I mean, one or the other. I'll even buy one. But I laughed at this idea. I really did. I thought that's just anybody who brings in LeBron now after this year, it is only to sell tickets. That's the only thing. But there aren't a whole lot of teams that can justify that and then go, you know what? And also, the mentor extraordinaire. Who else? Don't you wish Kobe would have had a chance to sit on the bench next to Michael for a year or so? Don't you wish, Michael had a chance to sit on the bench next to Magic? Don't you wish that there was a kind of an organized passing of the torch? I think the league would love it. I think it would be an ideal goodbye, as we say hello and goodbye in the same sentence to LeBron and Wemby. The more I look at it, the more it makes sense for the league, makes sense for LeBron, and makes sense for Pop and the Spurs.
It was cool from a basketball standpoint when we had the Luka Dirk year, right?
Absolutely.
This isn't, exactly that.
Well, David and Tim, it was longer, but we got to see the transition and we got to see the growth of Tim. He benefited by it. It helped.
That's fair. That's a good point. And I mean, I also don't think it'd be a bad thing for the Spurs. Not that the Spurs have a lot to learn from LeBron, but learn from LeBron, the corporation, right? Like that. There's a lot you could certainly learn about how to be a little bit more worldwide. You know what I'm saying?
I love on our chat, worldwide. And this is the dirty little secret. C. Cole on our YouTube feed. The dirty little secret is, in fact, this. Bronny is not a pick. Bronny is not a draft pick. Bronny is a second rounder or a free agent. And ideally, I think the structure, the plan would be for Bronny to be a free agent, not to get drafted. Because that way he gets to pick his team. Nobody gets to, you can go pick and choose the perfect landing spot and take your dad with you. I think the ideal situation, Cole, C. Cole TX. No, he's not NBA quality yet, but he does have an opportunity to get on a team. So I think this is actually playing into the plan that the team can go free agent wise and go get both of them instead of drafting Bronny and trying to find whatever room they can to fit LeBron on. You do it the other way around. Sign LeBron and just free agent Bronny.
I don't want to act like who we are now is too good for anything. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
I know you're not necessarily saying that, but I mean, let's relax. You know what I mean? Like, we have no right to refuse any proposed idea or path for anything. Ultimately, this would be cool and this would be fun. I don't think this is a significant step, hypothetically, of course, towards competing immediately. There is a long-term benefit, certainly, from Wemby learning from LeBron and learning from how to be the face of the NBA. That was also a talking point from the All-Stars over the weekend, who's the next face. And that would, in more than just a corporate knowledge Spurs transition away, that would be a real transition of faces in the NBA from LeBron to Wemby. But beyond that, I mean, I think there are other paths I'd rather pursue if the goal is to significantly and legitimately compete as soon as next season. And once again, I reiterate, Trey.
And as we look at possibilities to improve the quality of our team quickly in the free agent market, not the big time trade that'll involve first rounders and yada yada. This is just paying to play. LeBron James is under a player option. So is Paul George. So is Drew Holiday. 3 very different guys in their career span, but 3 guys that no matter what, if the Spurs were willing to pay, would bring 15 wins on their own. All 3 of them would add 15 wins to the bottom line if you signed. But are you willing to? And which would you like? Drew Holiday, Paul George, or LeBron James? Each have their own merits. LeBron, you get a little time and a free agent. Paul George, you get a guy that is the quintessential Spur. Always felt that way. And Drew Holiday, same thing. He had something at point guard and lead guard that the Spurs currently don't have.
Ultimately, I think if those are my options, I'm not going to turn down LeBron James, right? Like, again, if I'm dedicating and devoting my energy towards one of these paths, I think you have to do it. You have to do it because you have to see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to see what that looks like if it's an available course of action. You have to. You can't not do it. Again, I mean, we all recognize the circumstances and the who LeBron is and what LeBron is at this point in time. But how can you not be mildly interested in seeing what that ultimately yields?
And I don't think it would be as expensive to get LeBron as it would be to get Paul George and Drew Holiday. I think you would get him on the cheap. It wouldn't be a long-term commitment. And at the same time, the expectations would be, and I'll be honest, you could bring him in and start at point guard immediately. You'd already have your point guard problem solved if that's the way that it went. What do you guys think? 656-3776, 656-ESPN. If LeBron arrives, do you air your grievances about that? Is it just I was going to say lipstick on a pig again, but is it just window dressing? Is that not the long-term answer? What should the Spurs do? If you got grievances, it's okay. There's a way to get rid of them. And in just about 14, 15 minutes, you too will have the opportunity to let that bad air out and the good air in. We call it the air of the grievances, and it's just around the corner. But coming back, it is absolutely hilarious that anybody fell for what happened on Monday. Jimmy Johnson speaks on the radio. He's on a fake committee of improvement for the Cowboys, and the fire is lit. We're going to ask 2 questions. How did this get here? And should there be some kind of committee to help the Cowboys find their way? We're talking Cowboys because that's what we do. You're on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. I don't know where you're heading today or tomorrow or this weekend. I know where I'm headed. It's SA Card House. Over there on 281 and Bitters. Once you become a member, you are treated as such. The SA Card House, I've talked to you a lot about it and had the opportunity to go by there a couple days ago. Walked in and had lunch with a friend, and again was absolutely amazed and astounded by the lunch that we had. The service was outstanding. I love where I'm going. Place is clean, well lit, everything's happening, and there's cards going on just around the corner. That is going on a regular basis. And when SA Card House does it, they take care of their members above and beyond just the games at hand that are skillfully dealt and well lit and everything you'd expect from the top quality card house. It's all the stuff that you get for just being in the room. The games that they have, the drawings that they have, the wheels just for hours spent playing. You just got to be in the building. And in February, the losers win too. There's losers tournaments, 40% of the pot available in some of those games. We have got giveaways every hour, hundreds, thousands of dollars given away already this year just for being members and playing at SA Card House. We know that there are other card houses in town, but until you go to SA Card House, you don't have anything to judge what greatness looks like against. And that's what SA Card House offers. They offer you the games, they offer you the times, they offer you the food, they offer you the location, they offer you the safety, they offer you everything you want in a card house. It's at 281 in Bitters. It's SA Card House. Go there today. Experience the pride of membership in a private and perfect card house. So that's SA Card House. Join today. You won't thank me later.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
My name is Jessica. Years ago, I was diagnosed with a thyroid condition. I slept all the time, was fatigued, had no energy, and a bad attitude. Now I've lost 50 pounds and I'm still losing. My medications have been scaled back. My emotions are stable and I have lots of energy. People at work say I'm happy, perky, and my husband says he's not walking on eggshells around me any longer. The Institute for Functional Health changed my life.
Call for your complimentary consultation, 210-468-1891. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health.
The LaTappe, Texas cycling races are back in San Antonio, April 12th to the 14th. Cyclists of all ages, register now to ride in the 100, 60, or 25-mile Tour de France amateur cycling events. You can run, walk, cycle, and celebrate all things Fitness Fiesta at the Athletes Village and Expo, LaTappe, Texas. Register today at fiestafitfest.com. Presented in part by Thomas J. Henry.
For John's 60th birthday, his family planned to drive down Old Route 66. But the trip took a detour when his wife got sick with RSV. It's a highly contagious virus that can lead to breathing problems and hospitalizations.
This year, we don't want to cancel our plans. We're protecting ourselves with Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo, respiratory syncytial virus vaccine.
Abrysvo, a vaccine to prevent lower respiratory disease from RSV in people 60 years and older. It's not for everyone and may not protect all who receive it. Don't get Abrysvo if you've had an allergic reaction to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may decrease your response. Most common side effects are tiredness, headache, injection site pain, and muscle pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-844-989-7284 or visit abrysvo.com.
So don't wait. Ask your pharmacist or doctor about Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo, because every breath matters.
If you're looking to move out of your parents' place, you could really cut expenses by bundling your car and renter's insurance with Progressive, which is good because your little brother has gotten really territorial. You're blood related. You'd think it would be fine to share food in the fridge. I mean, who writes their name on every individually wrapped slice of cheese, Tyler? Still, you've got to admire the commitment. So bundle your renter's and car insurance with Progressive and use the savings to help you move out and have all the cheese you want. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Gabby.
Hey, Gabby. It's Jennifer Coolidge. Hi. I'm so glad I reached you at 2 a.m.
Oh, of course. Anyone with a Discover card can call and talk to a real person 24/7. Now, how can I help?
Yeah, I used my Discover card to buy these yellow pleather pajamas, and I'm just not sure I'm pulling them off.
24/7 U.S.-based customer service. It pays to Discover. Limitations apply. Learn more at discover.com/creditcard.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
We're honoring the pursuit of brews and barrel-aged bourbon every Friday at our Bourbon and Brews Party. Head over to Twin Peaks Fridays from 5 to 7 and experience a lingerie costume party paired with exceptional bourbons, tastings, and giveaways. Cheers!
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass. Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just text ENERGY to 200-300 for your free consultation on top-quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right. You don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Text ENERGY to 200-300 right now. Text the word ENERGY to 200-300. Don't wait. Text ENERGY to 200-300.
Good morning, everybody. Joe Reinagel here, coming up on the Blitz. I saw Sticks last night, went to the rodeo. I'll have a review of that. Plus, $60 million for Dak Prescott? Say it ain't so. RJ, did you miss your cuddle with Jason this morning? I think he did. Wake up. We got something to talk about. It's the Morning Huddle. RJ Ochoa. I'm Rob Thompson. We're going to air our grievances in just a moment. I owe you some tickets. Anybody wants to go see Shogun at the Casablanca on us, get on your phone. 656-3776, 656 ESPN. This one you're going to have to say hello to Edwin and the fifth person, caller number 5, that says hello, Edwin, and wishes him a fine day. We'll go see Shogun on Us. I'm excited about this movie.
Really?
Yeah, it's one of those sprawling James Michener novels, and known.
By the
it's
way,
going to be good. I saw all of Oppenheimer. Finally, it took 2 nights, but I did it, and it was really, really good. Best movie I've seen in a bit.
I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
I promised you that I was going to start The Crown, not a movie, obviously, but I finally did, and it was among. I like to say that Breaking Bad hooks you faster than
right?
and Breaking Bad hooks you faster than any other show. The first 5 minutes of Breaking Bad are like, okay, I have to be here. But the first episode of The Crown rocked. I'm all the way in.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's because the crazy thing is it's all true. We assume, at least the headlines, the front and center stuff. But you're starting way back with King Edward, right?
No, the first episode, for anyone who forgot or is curious, is at the time Princess Elizabeth's wedding.
Yeah, right after he dies and Elizabeth takes over. Yeah, way back then.
No. King.
I said the wrong name.
She's still princess right now.
What's the name of the king before Elizabeth?
Charles.
Before Charles dies. So it goes. You're back to the 50s, right? You're
His
way
Majesty.
back early.
Yeah, Winston Churchill was at the wedding.
My wife, the Anglophile, I've watched all that. I'm very much aware of what went on. The idea of where the Cowboys sit, I find very interesting because it's imminent. And it's so funny that after all of this time, that we're still having to watch Jerry and Steven somehow wiggle and justify the amount of money that they're going to be forced to pay Dak, knowing full well that they could have paid him less.
I don't think that they are wiggling and justifying anything. I think that they're laughing their asses off.
Do you think they did this on purpose because they want to be able to announce that they've made Dak the highest paid player in the history of the NFL?
No,
that's not that.
I think they did this on purpose because they want all it's Dak's fault. They want all that. Dak is their shield, man. I mean, that's what they want. They want Dak to take all the blame.
Do you think they're that brilliant? Honestly, do you think that they are bringing Dak in as their Teflon? Like, as long as Dak is here and he continues to fail in January, they're going to look at him and not our idiocy, not our just Keystone Cops approach to signing our stars, whether they be true stars or not.
There's a chat in the Brigade Bar from about 40 minutes ago, from Bob Martin. Says Dak has a worse playoff record than Romo. 2-5 for Dak, 2-4 for Tony. What's the common denominator? But we sit here and we Dak sucks, Romo sucks, whatever, blah blah blah. I mean, this is look at the comment from Bob Martin. Aren't you having a top 5 offense every year and losing in the first round, no matter how much you pay Dak, it's not going to improve anything if he's asking for the max every time. First of all, every quarterback is asking for the max. But second of all, it's not like Dak is purposefully saying, "Oh, I'll just be a great regular season quarterback for you, but I come with limitations that I won't perform in the playoffs." My point is the Cowboys are more. They want us to quibble and to place the blame. Oh, they can't sign CD, they can't sign Micah because of Dak. They can. Shocker, spoiler. They can do it all. They just won't. They just don't. And they let the sins for their lack of doing, for their incapability of doing, they let that fall on their players, and they let the fans turn on the players. Oh, Dak's being greedy. Dak's asking for too much. Oh, Micah's asking for too much. Why do they have to be the highest paid this? Why do they have to ask for the max? That's the game. Mm-hmm. That's the game. They just don't want to live up to their end of the bargain on their side of the table.
So timing. The Cowboys should get this done tomorrow. I know it takes 2 to tango, 2 to dance, but we know the number. This isn't going to be a surprise to anybody. It's right at 60 million. We're right in there. We're quibbling about little tiny peripheral things. If they are going to prove to us again and be all in, it would be an immediate signing, right? Don't let this wait. Sign him, spread it out, find out what we got, and then start applying.
If you're serious about this, you've got to get to work now. I mean, this is, oh, Dad, I promise I'm going to take this semester seriously. You know what I mean? I'm going to study more. I'm going to do my homework. I'm actually going to do my homework ahead of time, instead of waiting till, the last second and turning it in at the deadline. And here we are. It's the first, round of quizzes. And, test. And it's like, okay, you got the homework. It's in your bag. We all know it. Time for you to do it. You got to sit down at the kitchen table and knock it out, because if you don't, then you're going to show up to school and it's not going to be done. And you're already going to be, falling, behind the 8 ball as far as your overall grade for the class.
When do we get the salary cap?
I would say probably by the end of this week.
By the end of this week. So the numbers are
ish. Yeah. I mean, but they know the approximate value.
Right.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like it's not like they're like, oh, we're 99% of the way done, and once we know that number, we'll be ready to go. You know what I mean? They're capable of getting this done.
You were the first to say, and I still believe this, that the Cowboys are going to offer us a carrot at some point. They're going to give somebody something. Do you think there is going to be a free agent acquisition like a Devontae Adams, like a Saquon, like all right, this is the all-in we've been talking about. Here it comes.
I mean, I could totally see what you talked about at the time, Derrick Henry, and then as I said it, I came to the realization that like it would be so like all in from them to be like, oh, our all-in move is signing a free agent running back. You know what I mean? But I could, if I close my eyes, I could totally see Jerry Jones saying, "Oh, we love Derrick Henry and back in the draft, but we love Zeke, and now they're both wearing the uniform, and we've had some great running backs." I mean, I don't blame them for this, but they built their football empire on the shoulders of a great ground game, right? So if you do that, right, like if you build any empire any way, you think that's the best way. It's hard to say like, well, we did this and had all this success, so we should do something different. So I could totally see them saying, we got to do this, we got to do that, we got to be able to run the ball, we got to get the best runners of the ball, but that's the game. We got to Great Wall at Dallas and all that kind of stuff. I don't know that I would consider that a carrot as much as I would consider it like those little trays you get to have the little carrots with like the ranch cup. Like it would be that.
A little carrotette, a little niblets.
Yeah.
Would the money be better spent on the offensive line?
Yeah. I mean, right now they don't have a left tackle or a center. I mean, as far as players set to hit free agency, will Tyron Smith come back? There was a report in the Dallas Morning News this week that he wants to return to the team. Will they bring Tyler Biadasz back? I don't know. Something I thought was interesting, and I know we're talking about free agency, but there are different draft experts and draft analysts and things like that. Yesterday on Tuesday, NFL Media's Daniel Jeremiah, he's the head honcho of draft stuff at NFL Media. He released his second mock draft, and he had the Cowboys drafting Tyler Guyton, the tackle out of Oklahoma. Now, what was interesting was in the little blurb that he had, he said, with Tyron Smith set to hit free agency, Tyler Smith could play one tackle, and Tyler Guyton could play the other. And so my thought process...
Right tackle?
Well, that's my question. So, wait a minute. Okay, if Tyron's gone, okay, yeah, Tyler's playing tackle. Okay, like that makes sense to all of us. But what about Terrence Steele? Like, why do we need another tackle here? What's that? That was a really weird thing. And so I wrote about this. It's not out yet, but I wonder. It was less than a year ago when Jerry pontificated about playing Terrence Steele at left guard.
And
we all were like, that's dumb, that's stupid, that's silly. This is just Jerry being Jerry. But I do wonder if maybe they view the best possible 5 as Tyler Smith at left tackle, arbitrary rookie first round pick at right tackle, and Terrence Steele at left guard. It's interesting to consider.
As they adjust who's the offensive line coach?
The new one?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there have been a few,
you wonder if that was a precursor conversation, like if we bring you in, this could occur. Are you ready to handle what might be?
Mike Solari is the person who they brought in last year. But I mean, there are ripples from this, that, or whatever. And the reality too is like a lot of people believe the Cowboys have had this amazing offensive line forever.
It feels that way. I mean, we've been told it enough. I'm not sure whether it measures up.
It's not. I mean, and Mike McCarthy has a history of involving a lot of offensive linemen, and some of that's injury related. And obviously the Cowboys have dealt with that with Tyron. But I thought that was really, as it relates to Daniel Jeremiah, a line he offers a lot is he builds his big board with his eyes in terms of like how he grades players.
Right.
But he builds his mocks with his ears in terms of like what he's hearing from people around the NFL. So what are you hearing that you think the Cowboys need 2 tackles in a Tyron Smith-less world? That's an interesting line of thought.
Yeah, Jeremiah, I'm looking at the article itself. He says offensive Tyler Guyton with the number 24 pick and the 2022 first-round pick Tyler Smith is expected to take over at left tackle, which would allow Guyton to excel at right tackle. Guyton is ranked as the number 5 tackle in the 2024 class, according to
why do you need a right tackle?
Right. I thought we had one. In fact, we just paid him.
He's from San Antonio.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what's like, that's so interesting to me that like this breadcrumb just dropped out of nowhere. Like, what's going? So are they moving Terrence Steele to left guard? That's an interesting question.
That, as far as the Cowboys go, this is the first RPP conversation that we've actually had. There's a couple of positives to this. Either way it goes. We'll continue talking Cowboys throughout the week because that's what we do. But coming back, exhale those grievances, baby. I know what I'm talking about here. You got to let the bad air out and the in air good. You got something to complain about or to get off your chest? We're airing our grievances next. Don't go nowhere. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, the Spurs get back to work after a long all-star break. The rodeo road trip continues. Will they fare any better?
Yeah, it's possible. Speaking of the rodeo, Reinagel was there last night, a food and sticks concert review, and Dak Prescott resetting the quarterback market. That's coming up on The Blitz starting at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The Golf Club of Texas has some of the best course conditions with the friendliest staff. The golf is great. They have lighted driving range and practice area. While it feels like a country club, it's not a private club. It's open to the public, so bring the family into the Tin Cup Bar, the nicest sit-down restaurant in that area of San Antonio, specializing in Texas food, wine, and spirits. For golf or dinner, go to the Golf Club of Texas off Highway 90, online at golfclubtexas.com. The Golf Club of Texas, the friendliest golf course in Texas.
Hi, it's Jason Minix from The Blitz. Did you know your testosterone levels start to decline in your 30s? So if you're feeling a lack of energy and drive, it could be caused by low T. Get your levels tested at Synergenics. They make it quick and easy, and with the convenience of their on-site lab, you'll get your results back at your first visit. At Synergenics, you will get customized care from testosterone specialists. Book your appointment now. Go to fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
The way the NBA season is going in San Antonio, you need to find a way to add excitement to watching those games. Jason Minix here from The Blitz. The way to do that is by playing at Underdog Fantasy. Go download the Underdog Fantasy app and start playing the Pick'em game, where you pick between 2 and 5 players from at least 2 different teams. Select whether they will be higher or lower on stats, and if your picks hit, you can win up to 100 times your money. It is fantasy, but legal in Texas. So download the Underdog Fantasy app or go to UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up, use my promo code STAR, and Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. Plus, they'll give you a mystery special pick to use on your first pick'em entry. Must be over 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Again, promo code STAR at UnderdogFantasy.com.
This is the Morning Huddle with Rob Thompson and RJ Ochoa.
Welcome, newcomers. The tradition begins with the airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
Here are the grievances with Rob and RJ.
Let them go. You'll be better for it. Welcome back to the Morning Huddle. We do it every day about 9:30. We let out the bad air, the good air in, that we air our grievances out. A lot to be mad at today. But, once this is done, then you can attack your hump day the right way with a fresh and clean perspective. I do want to remind everybody we are filling up our golf tournament. I don't want one of your grievances to be that you didn't sign up. So I'm kind of going to head this off at the pass. Our golf tournament will be March the 25th. We are down to availability of under 20 teams. If you want to play, 656-3776, or better, no, don't call Edwin. Just go to the website. I'm sorry, SA Sports Star. Get yourself signed up. All the details are there. I want to thank Flight Far Yingling for being part of what Golf Club of Texas will offer, a phenomenal golf tournament hosted by us on March the 25th. Sign up before it's too late. Don't fill yourself with regret and for longing for not doing your duty. Speaking of duty, make sure you're subscribed. We're trying to eat hot sauce. We're trying to have a Hot Ones challenge, and we're going to need about 130 more subscriptions between now and then to get it done. And I want to see RJ sweat. Anything bothering you this morning? Anything that, you got to get off your chest to kind of help you ease into what will be a beautiful day?
I have one.
We have 17 spots left. Wow. Yikes. That's an update I didn't expect. You guys better sign up. We're going to be full by Friday. We're going to be full a month out.
What do you want to hear first? I have a grievance and really just
you know what, RJ, I want a little bit of good news. Do you have anything good?
It's a suggestion that I think can help people.
I'm ready.
So last week was Valentine's Day, and my wife got my son, little setup and stuff, and there was a little gift, and it was like, the gift is actually kind of annoying because there's all these tiny little pieces and the dogs like them. That's just a frustrating thing. But we were putting it together because we had to kind of do this, and we were doing it together. And I told her, it reminded me of something I saw around Christmas time. That it was like a parental Instagram account. And it was a suggestion that you should, before Christmas, take the toys out that you get your kids and put them together, and then rewrap them so that when the kids open them, it's not a matter of like, oh, sorry, you got to wait actually so we can put this together at a certain point in time, right? So my suggestion is that we should discuss, how like when you order something on Amazon, you can put like, I want this gift wrapped.
Right.
You should be able to put like, I want an assembled box to put it in. I'm willing to do the assembly.
Are you willing to pay for it?
No, yeah, but I'll just pay for the extra box. But like, because sometimes it won't necessarily fit in there, after it's assembled.
Absolutely.
So I'm saying like, send me, maybe it's not even a box, maybe it's just like a burlap sack that I can throw over it with a ribbon. You know what I'm saying?
But you want it pre-put together, or would you do the putting together?
I'll do it. I'm not what I'm saying. Okay. I don't have a problem doing it, but sometimes it won't necessarily, or a resealable box, an easily resealable to where it doesn't look like Dad ripped up my box. It's open. You know what I'm saying? Like there should be we should all work together. Exactly, Santa. So my point is like it should be an easily resealable package or a way to dress up the put together toy so that after the children open the gifts on Christmas morning, they can immediately go play with it.
I think you have a valid argument, but my thumb is sideways, and I'll tell you why. Because anybody who has had to be the putter together on Christmas, and you have a bunch of toys from several kids, and they're all needing to be put together. I had to live through it. I want you to live through it. I know your idea is better. The idea of me being able, having it arrive already put together I'd be willing to pay. It's one of those things that once we start that, we'll wonder why we never did it before. Because anybody who has spent Christmas Eve putting decals on any kind of house or prefab car knows, my God, somebody could do this. It's kind of like we were talking before the show. There was the era before we realized that wheels on luggage could actually not only work, but be fabulous. And when one person does it, you go, why didn't we always do this? And now I'm kind of like, why didn't we always have pickup for my groceries? Why couldn't I always order them online or some way? And I think the next step will be this. We're going to go, why wasn't this always that way?
Okay, I have one more then. It's a grievance, but it's a suggestion for society, and I think something we'll all benefit from. Now, you watch a lot of television.
Oh,
right?
way too much.
Right. Well, and you've pledged to watch Survivor beginning a week.
We are. We're going to watch Survivor for the first time in 25 years for me.
Right. So
seriously,
Survivor's an example of a show that can be spoiled if you don't take proper precautions. Now, if you jump on social, well, like every week somebody is voted off, so like that can be spoiled for you. You know what I'm saying? Like you can find out before having watched it. And so, but if you jump on the internet, you jump on Twitter or something like that, that's on you. You know what I mean? Like you risked the spoiling happening for you, and so I blame you if it spoils. But I think we've all at this point in society had a television show spoiled by way of, incidental spoiling we didn't necessarily anticipate. And what I mean by that is sometimes, and maybe Survivor's not a good example of this, sometimes the title of the episode is a bit of a spoiler. You know what I mean? So sometimes the little bio for the episode, the little description is a bit of a spoiler. You know what I mean? Like sometimes these things can give you clues as to what's, especially if it's like the season finale or something like that.
Uh-huh.
So what I'm suggesting is we should have something in whatever app it is that you choose, and we should be able to like toggle spoiler mode on. You know what I'm saying? Or you know what I mean? Or avoid spoiler mode on, to where it doesn't list that, it just is like episode 9. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't tell you anything like that.
In this day and age,
it doesn't have a cover image to where like the cover image is like the guy holding the gun or whatever. And you're like, oh, well, I know that scene's coming up. You know what I mean? Like we should be able to avoid all this completely and entirely if we don't want it to affect our viewing experience.
I give you a hearty thumbs up. In this day, I wouldn't have completely agreed even a couple of years ago, but now we do need spoiler protection because it's all around us. It really is.
That's a good name for it. Spoiler protection.
Spoiler protection package. Just, they're nickel and diming us. So then what's another $1 so we don't ruin it? Mine is also along the TV line, but it's a different complaint. And I call it the Game of Thronesing of television. And that is the shocking death of your favorite character on a series.
Okay.
Where the series is obviously not over. And one of the very reasons you were watching the show was because this character was really cool. And then they kill him. You're like, what? I got Game of Thrones on a whole other series this weekend. It's the World War II Disney Plus epic, Masters of the Air, where they're flying.
Well, so first of all, I was gonna watch that, and now you spoiled it for me.
There's a variety. You don't know which character because you start out with 5 or 6, but you got Game of Thrones. I was 3-4 episodes in, and my favorite dude is gone. They just killed him.
So your grievance is
grievance is sometimes you watch shows because you like the character as much as you like the plot. And I don't want that character to go. Now, I survived Game of Thrones. I've survived other ones, but I do believe that if I'd have gotten to see what was Jon Snow's dad, I thought that dude was awesome.
Oh, Ned Stark.
Ned Stark should have lived for at least 3 seasons. I got him for like 4 episodes, 5 episodes. And
also another spoiler. Wow, the irony here.
If you're so far behind Game of Thrones back in the, you're woefully behind. But that would have been something, your spoiler protection. If you'd have paid the price after you subscribed, it would have just bleeped it out. It would have known, I believe, that I was about to spoil something for you. And then, I got one more, and then I'll let it be because this is kind of a spoiler.
Let me grade this one.
Okay.
Or is this related to the grievance?
No, this is my own because I'm going to power through. I'm not leaving the series I'm watching, but I was just astounded. I was like, is he dead? Oh my gosh, he's dead. And there's still more to come.
Pledge is right. Pledge is in the chat. He said, so in spoiling grievances, Rob is spoiling multiple shows.
Oh, yeah, all the time. I did not tell you who we lost.
You just dragged us all
down.
Because
there's 4 or 5 that could have been, but my favorite of those.
Well, we see, like, this is also an indirect spoiler. Like, we all know you. I know you very well. So, like, I'm going to very easily be able to tell, like, oh, that's Rob's favorite character. You know what I mean? Like, and then, like, poof. You know what I mean? We're done.
Well,
so,
yeah. Well, it's not Babyface if you're worried about that.
I don't think that this grievance passes for me because your grievance is ultimately that a character on a television show.
All right, let me step up to bat. You're right. That's foul ball. All right, let me step up.
This was really awful. Like
this is another one. Okay, so
no, like you need to go watch.
This is
like
a
Frasier,
spoiler alert.
Like,
so
everybody loves Raymond, so your character could be on every episode.
I'm not going to give away the end. I'm not going.
We'll see about that. Okay.
But for anybody that has been watching True Detective, and if you've seen True Detective, over the years. It's an anthology. They come out with it every year or so with different characters, different locales, but the same creepy, there's something otherworldly going on with some kind of bizarre murder. There's a weird thing that happened, and then there's all these other signs that make you think there's something not of this earth behind this creepy murder. And in every one of them, they get to the end, and it's all explained away by those meddling kids. Like every weird thing that they led you to believe could be something ghostly, it turns out that, you think it is till the very last episode, then they solve the crime, and you're like, well, there wasn't anything scary about this at all. This is just regular old murder. There wasn't any ghosts. There weren't any in this one, any seal witch women. And if you watched it, you know what I'm talking about. It wasn't any of that. It's just regular old stuff. They led me down this path of creepiness, and it turns out just a regular old crime. I was so let down by it, so let down by the end.
So you definitely also spoiled this. but
you don't know how it ends, but I can tell you, it ain't a ghost.
Yeah, this is
you meddling kids. I'd have gotten away with it too.
You basically watched an episode of Scooby-Doo.
That's what it felt like. If they'd have pulled the mask off the one and go, ha ha, like, there it is. It's Scooby-Doo.
Well, no, Scooby was part of the crime solving.
Well, yeah, they would pull the mask over Mr. Smithers, and he'd say, I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for you meddling kids.
Yeah, I'm not going to pass this one, dude. I mean,
really, I'm 0 for 2.
Well, your qualms are that shows didn't meet your level of satisfaction.
And I have a low bar because on the other side, Oppenheimer was phenomenal.
Oh, agreed. Okay, I got one. This is a really specific grievance, and I think you'll appreciate this. But I could see you saying you've drifted too far away from us. So I don't collect movies anymore, but I used to before. Actually, I don't know if you saw this. Best Buy is doing away with physical movies in their stores. I saw this story. So that's a good end of an era. Why no? I mean, whatever. But there was a point in time where a lot of people would collect movies.
Hundreds.
Some people still do.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a lot of DVDs and Blu-rays that I just don't watch anymore because I have them.
Do you have a player that works?
Yeah, I mean, but it's just so much easier to stream them now digitally or Netflix. Or
yeah, those DVDs don't work on my phone very well.
Right, exactly. So, when I would collect these growing up and things like that, I would, sort them and organize them.
How would you organize them? Alphabetically or by category?
I was about to say I would alphabetize them.
Okay, that's not the way to do it.
Alphabetized.
No, that's not the way to do it.
Well, then, hearing what you just said, I think that this is about to fall on deaf ears. So something that has always bothered me, all right, relative to my alphabetical sorting, Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy, speaking of Oppenheimer, remarkable, exceptional, amazing, zero qualms with it. But the titles are impossible for me to figure out from an alphabetical standpoint. Well, do I put Batman Begins goes with the B? But do I put The Dark Knight under D? Do I put it right after Batman Begins because it's part of that trilogy?
It's got to be B.
No, but The Dark Knight.
I know.
The first movie is Batman Begins. Second is Dark Knight. So what? Where do I separate them? Because then if not, The Dark Knight, it's not called Batman : The Dark Knight. I wish it were. That would make it easier from alphabetizing standpoint.
I think you need to go to the Dewey Decimal Code. I think we need to do the Dewey Decimal System and apply that because that's no longer in use. So now we can use it with how we catalog our DVDs.
It
would all be Batman, man. You're not going to put Dark Knight under. Dark Knight is Batman.
That's what it's called.
I know.
The Dark Knight.
But you alphabetize, you organize for ease of finding. That's why that one I disagree. Because first of all, when you're searching for movies, you don't just go alphabetize. They go, are you looking for comedy? Are you looking for drama?
But nobody calls it. Nobody says oh, I want to watch Batman. Everybody calls that movie The Dark Knight.
No, you call it Batman, and the episode I want to watch is
it's referred to as The Dark Knight. It's The Dark Knight, to be very clear. Nobody has ever said that they want to watch that movie and said, oh yeah, let's watch Batman. No, it's always been, I want to watch The Dark Knight. That's how everybody refers to it.
Is there an age cutoff? Because it's all Batman to me.
Wow. Well, I don't know if you know this, but yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if you know this, but Michael Keaton does not play Christopher Nolan.
Keaton, so, they're all, it's Batman, just which bad version do I want?
Wow.
I want the Batman, as long as there is a sidekick. Because there were some no Robin ones.
Wow.
We did give away some movies, pass to go see Shogun. I think today I'm actually going to go see my favorite Batman.
Christopher Nolan, best Batman. But if I have to pick like a best awful Batman, I'm sorry, Christopher Nolan's Batman. Christian Bale is the answer. But
Christian Bale's your favorite Batman.
Well, he's the best. But if I have to pick like a favorite one from like growing up, like the George Clooney Batman is special in its own way.
You say growing up. I'm thinking that what was that, like 8 years ago?
Okay,
Clooney was
who's
good.
your answer? Are you Adam West? Is that your answer?
Thwack. No, that was parody. I think Clooney was the Batman that I appreciated the most.
You just hated on my answer. What are you doing?
30
seconds ago, hated on my answer.
Affleck is cardboard, man. There ain't nothing to Affleck.
Affleck? I'm not talking. I didn't say Affleck. I said George Clooney.
Well, I'm talking about the different Batmans, and we were asked which is your favorite Batman.
I forgot that Ben Affleck was one. What about Robert Pattinson?
Lightweight.
I mean, that movie was pretty good. I mean,
the movie was good, but he did not. He couldn't fill the pants, if you know what I mean.
Different kind of grievance.
You have airing of grievances. You get to come back to this tomorrow. So you have a problem with what I had to say. Pack it away, stuff it way down so it percolates for the next 24 hours and explodes out tomorrow, a little after 9:30. We want to thank everybody
Chicks
who
dig the long ball, chicks dig the sack.
Yeah, that's right, baby. We're going for both. He is RJ. I am Rob. Thanks for sitting in with us today. It's been a welcome relief. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. Hey, Mama, I'm on the radio.
.94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday,